welcome inside the press box here on the campus of Illinois State University alongside my broadcast partner, the coach, Jack McInerney. I'm Marshall Harris, and do we have an exciting one for you tonight? In Class 6A, you can't talk about the state championships without mentioning East St. Louis. The Flyers have been a mainstay. Meanwhile, Fenwick High School is trying to jump into the conversation and pull off what many think would be a huge upset in this state title game. For Fenwick, it's going to be a situation where they have to find a way to do something that teams in Illinois haven't done in a long time, and that's knock off the top dog.
Well, East St. Louis has only 3 losses, and those are 2 out-of-state teams, 2 from Florida. And the thing is, to me, East St. Louis is a track team that wears a helmet and shoulder pads. Fenwick, on the other hand, what they have going for them is they play a very difficult schedule all year long. East St. Louis hasn't had a ton of competition with the exception of those 3 losses. So can Fenwick's competition in the Chicago Catholic League make a difference? We're certainly going to find out pretty soon.
Let's take a look at how these 2 teams got to normal. It is the road to normal, and looking at East St. Louis, they know the path because, well, they come here just about every year, racking up the 3rd most state championships in IHSA history. Meanwhile, for Fenwick, they're trying to pull off the upset tonight. They come from just outside of Chicago in Oak Park, Illinois, and they're hoping to head back north with a state championship. Kickoff is up next between the Friars and the Flyers. It's the IHSA 6A state title game, and it's next.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know, from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
Save big on automotive supplies at Menards. Good maintenance equals longer vehicle life, and Menards carries automotive products that help keep your vehicle on the road. Prevent diesel fuel from gelling in colder climates with Howe's Diesel Treat. On sale for only $11.99. FVP Premium Starting Fluid helps provide fast starts on the coldest days and is engineered to work with all gasoline and diesel engines. Get an 11-ounce bottle for just $2.69.
I'm a proud man. So asking my son to help me bathe, that was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Walk-in tubs give you independence and peace of mind with low step-in doors, slip-resistant floors, soothing hydrotherapy jets, and fast drain technology.
Now I don't need anybody's help. I've got my dignity back.
1-833-304-0361. 1-833-304-0361.
The IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student-athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
We're back with the IHSA State Football Championship, and the state finals are presented to you in part by Country Financial and Illinois Farm Bureau. Let's take a look at the players to watch in this one. Players to watch, and we'll start with Fenwick and Jamin Williams. The Chicago Catholic League White Offensive Player of the Year has been huge after missing half of last year with a leg injury.
Well, he really has been, and the thing is that they have great balance, and he's one of the guys that gives them that great balance. They have an outstanding running back, but he throws the ball down the field, which keeps that run game honest defensively, but he also can run with the football when he needs to. So he really is a catalyst for Fenwick, and how he goes tonight could very well be how Fenwick goes.
26 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions on the season. Meanwhile, on the other side, speaking of running the ball, we know that's what East St. Louis does best, but when they are counted on to throw, Reese Shanklin, he is the man. 25 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions.
He's an amazing quarterback, and he averages about 10 throws a game for 134 yards. But you'd say, well, those aren't great stats. But the thing is, aside from the 3 losses they've had to out-of-state teams, they really haven't had a lot of competition. So he doesn't play entire ball games to build up those stats. That happens a lot of times with these really great teams. The kids don't have great stats because they're not in the game the whole time.
Those are the quarterbacks. These are the teams. It's East St. Louis. It's Fenwick for the 6A state title.
Illinois Farm Bureau is a proud sponsor of the IHSA Football State Finals. IFB's advocacy, information, and development provide Illinois farmers and AG professionals an advantage. Discover your advantage by contacting your County Farm Bureau today.
Dental and vision coverage through Delta Dental of Illinois. Get a plan that fits to a T.
Run my own business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned.
Dental and vision coverage through Delta Dental of Illinois. Get a plan that fits to a T.
We're back with the keys to the game, brought to you by Southern Illinois University Carbondale. Say yes to SIU. East St. Louis and Fenwick, they've got different game plans today.
Well, East St. Louis wants to create turnovers so they can get that explosive offense going, and of course field position makes it easier for them. Fenwick, on the other hand, really has to execute at the line of scrimmage to control the clock and the run game, and they need to play with intensity, but they don't really need to work hard at that because the Catholic League, you're always playing week in and week out with intensity. That could be the difference, hopefully, for Fenwick tonight.
So the home team in this contest is Fenwick. Fenwick won the toss. They deferred, so East St. Louis will receive it first. And off the top, it's going to be Noah Sir putting the ball into play. He's a Northwestern commit, both the place kicker and the punter. He's got quite the leg on him. Back deep to receive, Ronnie Gomiller and Jamori Ware. And we are off and running here in the 6A state title game. And I told you he had a strong leg. It's a touchback.
That's the first time I've seen that happen since we've been down here.
It is.
Well, I don't want to say I told you so, but I just told you so.
And that is with the flag blowing. So there's a lot of wind out here, about 21 degrees as it stands right now. Today's starting lineups presented by OSF Healthcare. Let's take a look at East St. Louis and what they bring on offense. And I think there's one word for it. It's called speed.
Well, speed. The second word for it is size. That offensive line averages 296 pounds. Those 5 offensive linemen, 296. Those are some big linemen that you're going to have to face. So the run game could be very effective going behind that kind of beef.
It's Reese Shanklin out of the shotgun. He's going to give it to Myron Cook Johnson, and coming out of a cannon to tackle him on the play is Mike Murphy, the linebacker, covering a lot of ground. You take a look at the defensive starters for Fenwick.
Well, I think what's going to be interesting here is a lot of people are really intimidated by East St. Louis because their program has been so great over all these years, 25 years or more. And but Fenwick is not intimidated because they play in the Catholic League, and that makes such a difference because of the competition week in and week out. So we'll see how effective it is tonight against East St. Louis.
Here comes Myson Johnson Cook again. Not much there. He does get positive yardage. 2-yard pickup. That'll make it 3rd and 8 from the 22.
Psychologically, this first drive could help both teams. It could help East St. Louis if they have a good run game, and it could affect them if they don't. For Fenwick, if they stop East St. Louis on the first possession, that's going to help them psychologically.
Tommy Thiessen on that tackle. One of the standouts for Fenwick to get to this point. And now an obvious passing situation, 3rd and 8 from the 22. Back to passes. Shanklin gets it out and broken up. Good coverage on the play by Josh Morgan. The pass intended for Cortez Rupert, the Indiana commit.
What's kind of interesting here, Marshall, was that the wide receivers were playing man up, and they were just hoping for those safeties to come up and help them. But, you know, that's showing a lot of courage on Fenwick's defensive part by saying, okay, we're going to play man coverage on the outside. We're going to help with the safeties occasionally, but we're really helping those safeties to help the run game.
Cortez Rupert, he is dynamic when he gets the football in his hands, but Josh Morgan showing you why he has several Division I offers, and that snap goes over the head of the punter, and he's trying to get rid of it. Instead, he's going to be tackled for a loss. And that is the way Fenwick starts this ball game.
Didn't we have a game like this just before where the same thing happened? A bad snap on the punt, and the other team got it? What a start to the game here.
Shanklin, not just the quarterback, but also the punter, gets in trouble here, and I thought he was going to throw it away at least to not take a big loss, but coming back to get it and making a play there were the Friars, and now they will have a gift of an opportunity here as they will start their first possession from the 4-yard line. And yes, this does have a certain deja vu to it.
Right, St. Francis and Providence had the same situation, a bad snap on the punt. And now, can Fenwick take advantage of it?
Here's Jamin Williams. He's going to give it to Jake Thies, who cuts back and gets into the end zone on the first Fenwick play on offense in the game. And Fenwick strikes first, getting into the end zone, taking the lead on East St. Louis.
Wow. Wow. That's all I can say right now. Good job on the counter, but a good job by him bouncing it out, because right at the point of attack, it was stopped. And then he bounces it back, gets into the end zone. But what a crucial time it was to have that punt bad snap there.
So now on for the extra point is Noah Sir. Again, he's headed to Northwestern. He gets that one up with plenty of leg. It's a 7-0 Friars lead. Fenwick comes out of the box and makes a statement against East St. Louis in the 5A state championship game.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can go from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
Save big on Dutch Boy paint when you shop at Menards. Durafighter Interior Paint is a paint and primer in one that provides great scrub resistance and durability. Get a gallon starting at $24.97 after $5 rebate. Pristine Interior Paint and Primer in one is Dutch Boy's best hiding and most durable paint. It delivers a smooth, elegant finish while providing maximum scuff, stain, and mark resistance. A gallon starts at $45.98 after $10 rebate.
The IHSA Football State Finals are brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by SIU Carbondale. Say yes to SIU.
Back here in Normal on the campus of Illinois State University, Fenwick has jumped out to a 7-0 lead less than 2 minutes into the game. A special teams gaffe, a power running game, and the Friars are feeling really good about themselves right now, Jack.
Well, it's very temporary till this ball is kicked off. I guarantee you that. Because they know that that was just something. They took advantage of it, and now can they continue to do something? I mean, it's just so early. My goodness.
The old adage, never look a gift horse in the mouth.
Well, that's right.
Here's Noah Sir trying to do what he did on his first kickoff, which is put it out of play. This one will skip to the back of the end zone and right through. So it'll be, once again, 1st and 10 from the 20 for East St. Louis. And when you talk about East St. Louis, this is a team that has a lot of weapons on offense. You've got a running back in Myson Johnson-Cook, who you saw there. And just to give you kind of background on him, 41 Division I offers for the guy wearing number 6 in white. And when he was in 8th grade, he ran a 10.97 100 meters. So he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's not light. He's 6'3", 230. And he's only a junior, by the way.
He reminds me of that running back in the pros, Henry.
Oh.
With
Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry, with that size and speed.
And here, flag comes out before the play is run. And I think that's going to be a pre-snap procedure problem for East St. Louis.
5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 15. Let's go downstairs to the third member of our broadcast crew, Kalia Butler. Kalia?
Fenwick head coach Matt Battaglia has been very open about the battle that is going to be today's contest against East St. Louis, who has been a powerhouse in 6A for the past multiple years. He said it's been less of a focus of who they are, but how in the world do you beat them? Coach Battaglia said that to play a giant like this, they're going to have to play with absolutely nothing to lose. Play at their pace, play fast, play loose, and play with great intensity.
Thank you, Kalia. Please stay warm down there.
That's easy for you to say to her.
It is easy for me to say. 2nd and 4 after a 6-yard pickup. That pass completed to Ronnie Gomiller. And you want to talk about great last names. Gomiller is a great name because that man can go.
They all can go.
2nd and 4 now from the 26 for Shanklin and company. The handoff to Johnson Cook. Gets to the outside. Finally dragged down out of bounds as Jake Thies makes the tackle. It's a pickup of 10. That'll move the chains. 1st and 10 now at the 36-yard line.
Looks like they had a little problem with that handoff, but he still was able to make the play. It almost looked like Reese Shanklin wanted to pull it back out on the ball back out on an option look.
So the option does go to Johnson Cook, and more on him. 1,107 yards on just 99 carries.
That's amazing. 14 touchdowns.
He's a walking first down, as he is on that previous play. And now this one goes almost for another first down as he gets it out to the 45-yard line. So a 9-yard pickup.
He averages 11 yards a carry, which is just an amazing statistic.
You see there, just taking defenders for a ride, as it's the other Thies who brings him down. Jake's brother, Tommy. And now, quicker movement here from Ahmad Coleman. Nice change of pace. You go from 6'3", 230 with Johnson Cook to 5'9", and 182 for the junior Ahmad Coleman. He's been described as having breakaway speed, but I feel like there's a lot of breakaway speed out there in white and orange.
There really is. And you know what, part of this is a great recruiting job by Coach Sunkett, because he gets kids out that are usually on the track team.
And now you got a false start against East St. Louis.
58, 5-yard penalty. Replay. First
This
down.
is usually their Achilles heel, is penalties. Hurts them in games is penalties. But, you got to give a lot of credit to Darren Sunkett because he gets kids that are just track people. He gets them out for football. They always have great track down at East St. Louis, but he gets them to be football players also. And he just does a fantastic job of coaching these kids.
So a 2nd and 15 now from their own 46-yard line. Shanklin and company this time off the play action, looking to go deep up the middle and overshoots his intended target that time. In Cortez Rubert was the intended target there.
Well, pretty good coverage downfield. The safety got over there. But, that was a good call because they want to make sure that they put pressure on that secondary. They don't want them playing too much up to help on the run. So it kind of puts that secondary in the dilemma because they'll come up and play like linebackers occasionally, but you got to do the play action to get them to play softer.
So now 2nd and 15 off the play action again. Unable to handle the pass that time was Ronnie Go-Miller. He was open, but a little too much heat on that pass.
I was just going to say, there's not a lot of touch on this. Ball was relatively there. It could have been caught, but he would have lost about 8 or 10 fingers, maybe 8 out of 10 fingers on that if he would have caught it. And again, remember the temperature is what, 20-some degrees? So he's throwing a rocket like that, and you're trying to catch it in your hands and fingers. That's a tough. You're catching a brick for the most part.
Feel like temperature in the teens here in normal as it has been all day, and now the sun has gone down. And now on 3rd and 15, pressured, gets it off. Immediately hit, though, on the play short of the first down that time was Jamori Ware. Good defense that time by Odin Furjak, who came up and made the play.
You talk about a textbook tackle right there in the open field. Outstanding defensive job right there.
So on 4th and 7, the punt team comes out for East St. Louis, so a big stop for Fenwick early in this ball game.
And the stop was based on the fact that they're throwing the football because they were moving the football when they ran it. And all of a sudden they started throwing it, and they were ineffective at this point doing that.
Now a fumbled snap. Getting it off this time.
How did he get it off?
I don't know, but it's a pretty good effort considering what happened behind the line of scrimmage, and it'll be down at the 21-yard line. But Reese Shanklin having all kinds of issues back there.
That was a bad snap, but it wasn't that bad. I don't know how he got that off. Wow. He's just taking his eye off the ball there.
So Shanklin, after having one go over his head, has one come down close to his ankles. And special teams has been an issue, and he's getting a talking to on the sidelines right now.
Interesting now that Fenwick's got a longer road to hoe here as far as scoring.
Their first possession began at the 4-yard line. This one begins at the 21, and on the first carry, it's more from Thies. They're saying the ball came out, but the officials are saying the ball was down by contact. Jake Thies, he's a running back as a junior. Meanwhile, Tommy Thies, his older brother, also a running back, the senior, who wears number 7.
And their father is the athletic director at Fenwick. So it's a pretty good deal here for Fenwick to have the recruiting of the athletic director's sons. First down is crucial here for Fenwick because they need to be able to run the ball against East St. Louis. They need to control that clock, and the way you do it is run the football. First down is always crucial in a run game.
Here's Jamin Williams. Gives it up and immediately met in the backfield with some thunder there is Thies. What a hit from Philip White. The linebacker comes up and makes a play behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 1.
You see how he just comes down and with that excellent speed, good angle coming flat down the line of scrimmage. Thies doesn't get inside the tackle enough, and that play is bounced to the edge. And that's where the play is made.
Now on 3rd and 8 from their own 23-yard line. East St. Louis trying to hold Fenwick to a 3-and-out after giving up a touchdown on the first drive. Quickly out to Thies, but that play was covered well, and he couldn't hang on. So another big defensive stop, this time by East St. Louis.
East St. Louis is forcing Fenwick to throw the ball. In fact, the way they're running their defense, they're challenging Fenwick to throw the football.
Tyrell Johnson in to break up that pass. So a 4th and 8 means a punting situation as we are under 7 minutes to play in the first quarter. Fenwick holding on to a 7-point lead for now.
Flyers are probably going to get pretty good field position here, even though you got an outstanding punter.
Noah Sir sends one up, coming to get it off of the bounce and fumbling it. Now it's a loose ball. Scramble for it. It will be recovered by Ronnie Gomiller, but that was a close call there.
That is living really dangerously.
So East St. Louis will have it when we come back, trying to tie things up against Fenwick in the 6A state championship game.
Every great team starts with trust. The kind of trust that builds over time. For 50 years, Country Financial has teamed up with IHSA in our communities. And for 100 years, we've protected you with insurance that does more. From the best times to the tough ones, a great team's got your back when it matters most. Thanks for your trust for 100 years. Here's to 100 more. Country Financial. Experience more.
Title game, and early on, special teams has been not so special for East St. Louis. The first snap on a punt over the head of Reese Shanklin. Big loss. That leads to a touchdown. Then on the next attempt at a punt, at his ankles, he has trouble barely getting it off. And it's been a tough go here for special teams out of the gate for Reese Shanklin and company.
And Fenwick obviously scored on the first miscue, but they also then, held East St. Louis in their first series, their first possession. So right now, Fenwick doesn't look that shabby against a really outstanding East St. Louis team. So we'll see how they hold up under this situation now.
1st and 10 now from the 43-yard line, their own. And a flag comes out. It's going to be offside, I believe. So this time the penalties go the other way.
Fenwick cannot afford to give them 5 free yards.
That play goes against, the call, goes against Zikomo Mbewe. He gets called for the encroachment. So now it'll be 1st and 5 from the 48. And the give on the keeper and chasing him down and wrestling him to the ground is Tommy Thies. As Reese Shanklin took off on the option there, held on to it, tried to get to the edge, but Tommy Thies able to chase him down from his his defensive back spot.
Good job. That's the safety coming up inside. We talked about they're challenging them with the corners going man, and they're hoping the safeties can also turn into linebackers, maybe help a little bit on the pass, but also have to help on the run.
So Shanklin gets a pickup of 2. It's still 2nd and 3, though, because of that first down penalty. And now running into some trouble in the backfield again. Amir Tillman gets thrown to the ground. And Mbewe had the penalty on 1st down. He has the big stop on 2nd down. Loss of 2 on the play.
Good job of penetration coming up and driving him to the sideline, but this is just a matter of angles. They're forcing him to try and turn it up, but they're slowing him down with the corners coming up and the linebackers filling in behind the corners.
Big 3rd and 5 here from the 48. Shanklin looking for room. Finds his target. It's a completion out to the 45-yard line. That will be a first down. It's coming up with a big catch on third down is Ahmad Sharp.
This is a good job by an athletic quarterback. You can see he's forced to scramble out, but he's able to look back and deliver the ball with a really quick throw. And that was a very crucial first down for them to pick up early here.
So a nice pickup that time by East St. Louis, and the Flyers march on. 1st and 10 now from the 45. Here's Shanklin, the give. It's Tillman to the left side. He's got room. Gets by one man. Bowls over another. Still on his feet. Inside the 10. And they'll say he stepped out of bounds at the 9-yard line. But what an impressive run. 36 yards that time by Myson Johnson Cook, showing you the speed and the power.
I'm impressed with the speed for 225-pounder. He's got excellent speed. He's running like a 165-pounder. And he's only a junior. And he's got a ton of offers, obviously, based on just that one run right there.
Johnson Cook right back into the backfield. Alongside Shanklin, gets another carry. He's got room on the inside. Still on his feet. Drags it out. They'll say he's down at the 1-yard line. He reached for the end zone. Couldn't quite get there. But another big pickup on 2nd and goal now from the 1.
Little zone look there. He starts outside and then plants and drives right back up underneath the block. And a good job on his part trying to get the linebackers to overflow to the outside and then cut back underneath them.
2nd and goal from the 1. Johnson Cook barrels his way into the end zone. And East St. Louis is on the board. Pretty good display of what Myson Johnson Cook can do with the football in his hands on that drive.
No doubt about it. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got a big offensive line that averages, we mentioned, 296 in front of him. But when you get in behind 296 pounds and then you're 225, I don't know how you stop that.
Now Damon Pruitt on for the extra point to tie the ball game. And that kick is no good. So East St. Louis can't convert on the extra point, and Fenwick holds on to a 1-point lead with 4:10 remaining in the first quarter. 6 plays, 57 yards. 2 minutes and 29 seconds off the clock on that drive.
Good shot there. Darren Sunkett has been there for 4 years. Record of 34-11. Does a fantastic job with these kids. Plays a tough schedule. He'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. Problem is he has trouble finding anybody in Illinois that want to play him. So that's why he's got to go out of state, going to Florida twice in the regular season or to play a conference game. And, of course, in that very first game, going to New Jersey to play against Ordell Bergen Catholic, which is located in New Jersey. And they end up losing that ball game 22-21.
Bergen Catholic, one of the powerhouses in New Jersey. Then their next loss came to Bishop Gorman, which, depending on who you ask, ranked as high as number 3 in the nation. They lost that game 35-10 decisively. And then they've had this kind of running thing going with IMG Academy. Depending on who you ask, they're as high as number 2 in the nation. They lost to them 38-14. So those are the 3 losses. They haven't lost to a team in Illinois since they lost to Cary Grove in the state championship game a couple of years ago. Up kick, taken in, and run out of bounds. As Fenwick and Ronan Morrissey will start at the 29-yard line.
And East St. Louis gets a lot of credit for their offense because they score a lot of points. They average this year 42 points a game. But the thing is that defensively, they've shut out 4 opponents this year, and they only give up about 11 points a game. So defense should get more credit right at this point than the offense has been getting.
Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by OSF Healthcare. As you take a look at the offensive starters for Fenwick, And up ahead is Thies. Pushes ahead for a couple.
They need to make sure they get more than a couple on first down. Fenwick's offensive line, it's not like they're Weight Watchers. They average 260.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 32-yard line. This time to pass. Williams going up, tipped. What a play. Athleticism on display by Dakari Weaver.
That is 6 right there if he picks that one off.
So Dakari Weaver gets a hand on this.
Kind of thrown into a strong wind there, but you can see how he was upset with himself on that. A good look at the defensive starters for East St. Louis.
And now East St. Louis on a big 3rd down with a chance to get the ball back. Fenwick, 3rd and 7 from their own 32-yard line.
Clock's running. They better do something. Take a timeout or something here.
And a timeout is coming for Fenwick with the play clock down to 3.
Fenwick, their first charge.
Interesting with Fenwick. We talked about East St. Louis and how nobody will play them. But Fenwick's on the other hand of that. They play in the, as we mentioned, they play in the Catholic League white. But they've already played a state champion in Montini. They played them early on. They lost to them 31-29. So that was one heck of a ball game. They played against Mount Carmel. They lost to Mount Carmel 35-28, who's going to be playing in the 8A championship. And many people, I wasn't at the game, said that Fenwick should have beat Mount Carmel. They had them down in the 4th quarter. So, you're looking at a team that plays a lot of tough opponents. And so the competition level is pretty level here.
Well, and you have to think Fenwick has all the confidence in the world just because of how they got here. Matt Battaglia, he got a championship in 2021. And last week, to knock off the #1 seed in 6A in Nazareth Academy in overtime, 28-27, that gives you a boost.
And defending state champion Nazareth.
Of course, Nazareth winning the state championship in 5A. They move up because of the success factor. And now on 3rd and 7 off the play action. Quickly out to Thies, but couldn't quite get in tune with him. Pressure was coming and bearing down on Jamin Williams on that play. It'll be a 4th and 7. And Fenwick will send out its punting unit.
Oftentimes, East St. Louis intimidates their opponents before they ever play the game because most people know the history of East St. Louis, the success that they've had over the past 20, 25 years in the game of football. And so their reputation precedes them, and oftentimes when you're dealing with 16 and 17-year-old kids, they're intimidated before they even take the field.
So Noah Sir comes on to punt. We've seen what he can do specifically on kickoffs. Here he gets a snap and lets that one fly over the head of Ronnie Gomiller. Definitely going to let that one roll. It's going to keep going, and it almost touches him, and it may have touched him. Let's see what they say. The officials are saying no, did not touch Gomiller.
Whoa.
But it's still an impressive punt because of where this one lands.
But I'll tell you what, that was not a very smart play by... He's standing around here. He needs to get away from that football. Fenwick's smart enough to try and push him into the football. And I can guarantee that Darren Suckett's having a long conversation with him about talking about protection back there. That was not a very smart play. If you're not going to handle it, get away from it.
Ends up being a 61-yard punt from Noah Sir. And you can see why
going there. Yeah.
He's going to Northwestern.
Very impressive. Punting the ball and kickoffs.
That is his new long on the season. His previous long was 58 yards. Averages 40 a punt. Not that Fenwick punts that often. 24 on the season for them. But now he's got East St. Louis backed up to their own 7-yard line. 1st and 10. And here Shanklin will give it up on the end around. Looking for some room and getting some down the sideline is Jamori Ware. Picks up a 1st down and more. Gets it out 15 yards on the carry. Just a good job of weaving his way to a big gain.
And a good job by the wide receivers, doing a good job of getting hats on people to give him lanes to run in. And the thing is, if Fenwick's going to stay in this game, special teams are going to play a part of it. And, of course, the kicker's going to play a big part of it if he can keep putting them in a hole like that.
Here comes Coleman. Gets to the outside. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Taken down on the play by Josh Morgan, who takes him out of bounds. And now we've got a player down in Tommy Thies. But take another look at this. And that was the play to Tommy Thies, the stiff arm.
That's not a good sign for him to go down. He's a valuable player for Fenwick.
And Thies heads to the sideline. Or no, he's staying on the field.
You know, it's impressive to see the officials are doing a great job here. They're saying he has to go off, which he is right now. But you got to give a lot of credit to these wide receivers of East St. Louis. They really lock on to people, which creates running lanes for the running back and or any type of play action that they're doing. That's just good coaching when you can get your wide receivers to block like that.
Off the play action to Coleman, instead it's a pass up ahead and thrown down by the other Thies. Jake Thies that time is Ahmad Sharp.
Good job of getting out there. Now, mind you, he's coming in from the safety. He's on the inside. You can see the inside-out angle he's taking. Good job by that junior, 6 foot, 190 pounds.
And you could tell Sharp thought he was going to be able to just manhandle him, but it didn't go his way that time.
Spend a little time in the weight room, and you can do that.
Sharp, 6'2", 217 pounds. Now 2nd and 10, no gain on that play. And now pass off target as he was looking to go back to Sharp on the right side. Could not connect. Now it's 3rd and 10. So Fenwick maybe with a chance to get off the field.
This is the situation that Fenwick wants East St. Louis to be in, where they have 3rd and 10, not first and 10, or excuse me, or even like get a 2nd and 2 where they can go up top and have some waste plays.
So now East St. Louis will spread them out. 3 wide receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Here comes Reese Shanklin, back to pass. Rolling to his right. Now connects. And tackled immediately, but not before he gets out to the first down in the 45-yard line. Cortez Rupert.
Good job of coming back to the football. Excellent route right there. Rupert looks a lot taller than 6 foot. 160-pound senior, and he's on his way to Indiana, and part of that is the way you can run a route like that. You know, oftentimes people forget about, they hear about a receiver and they think of speed, but many receivers nowadays have gotten so better at running routes where they're getting open rather than just running down the field and trying to outrun people. They run good, precise routes, and of course, delivery of the football is important.
1st and 10 from the 45 now. The give up the middle, looking for some breakaway speed, and he's got it on his horse. And on the way is Amir Tillman to the end zone. A 55-yard touchdown run. And East St. Louis, for the first time, has the lead.
Combination there of a good job of running and also a good job of that offensive line. Berryhill, Richmond, Tillman, Donnelly, and Henderson. You can see right there how they lock on. He just pops it right outside here, and it's tremendous speed that he has.
Once he got through that initial to the 2nd level, it was over.
Good job right here. Little chip block right there that just popped him loose.
His 10th touchdown of the season comes on a 55-yard score. Now we're seeing kind of a trademark result from a Flyers play.
Well, explosive plays are what Fenwick wanted to keep away from East St. Louis, but when you have talent like that and speed, trying to negate explosive plays are very difficult.
So Amir Tillman gets that done. Now it's Pruitt back on for the extra point. It is up, and this time it is through. 13-7, East St. Louis has taken its first lead of the game with 51 seconds left here in the first quarter. Take another look at this.
Just like the way he pops it back right there and just turns on the speed. It doesn't look like the field is slippery at all to him. Nice run right there.
Certainly found his footing. So far, Fenwick on offense. 7 plays, 9 yards. Remember, they were gifted that first and goal situation from the 4 after the punt gap. And then East St. Louis, 23 plays for 173 yards. And now 2 scores.
Well, initially, you know, we know that East St. Louis is a big play explosive team. So if Fenwick were to force them into long drives, that slows down their explosive plays and almost in a way plays into Fenwick's hand because it takes them running the clock. And that's what Fenwick wants to do. They want to have that clock going. But, you know, and they want to have East St. Louis help Fenwick out with it. But not if they're going to end the result is going to be a touchdown.
Now brought in and brought upfield that time. Ronan Morrissey. And Morrissey gets it out of bounds. They'll spot it at the 31-yard line, 32-yard line.
Good job here getting to the football, using the sideline as a 12th defender and force them either in the sideline or come back into you.
Jabari Lofton with the tackle there. 47 seconds remaining. Johnson Cook so far in this game, 8 carries, 121 yards. 2 scores, 15.1 yards per carry. Now on 1st and 10, pressure coming, in trouble, and swallowed up. Big time play.
That was a breakdown right there. They just bull rushed them right into the squeezing it. You can see the bull rush coming right at them. They're not trying to swim or rip or anything else. They're just driving that offensive lineman right back into the quarterback where he has nowhere to go. They constrict the pocket where he can't throw the ball, nor can he get outside to scramble.
So Amari Hogan gets credit for the sack there. And now it's a 2nd and 15 after a loss of 5. They're back at their own 27-yard line. And that will do it for the first quarter. East St. Louis, after giving up a touchdown early, they've got a 13-7 lead. Back with the second quarter after this.
The First Trust and Savings Bank goes beyond the ordinary. Generations of families, farmers, and businesses have counted on us to be the extraordinary bank. As skilled professionals, we guarantee your satisfaction, and always with the personal attention you expect from a trusted partner.
The First Trust and Savings Bank, helping people succeed.
WCIA has been following this story since 2024 when Sonia Massey was shot and killed by a former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy. The Peoria County Courthouse, we had a presence there all 8 days. There was an impact all across the country. I mean, you had national news outlets covering this. When we say community impact, it really wasn't just in Springfield, just in Champaign, just in our viewing area. It was everywhere. When I was there, I interviewed supporters who stood all 8 days outside of the Peoria County Courthouse.
A personal moment. The moment I shared with Sonia Massey's father, James Wilburn, when I asked him, you know, what he thought Sonia would say if she was still alive today, and I'll never forget his answer.
I love you, Daddy, because that's the way we ended every conversation, be it in person or on the phone, was I love you, Daddy.
I think that really brought a human aspect out of the story to show this wasn't just a person. This was someone's daughter, someone's mother. We really wanted to get to the family, to the friends, to the Springfield community that knew Sonia really well. The story is not over. We have sentencing coming up at the end of January in Sangamon County, where we will learn how long Sean Grayson will be in jail. The Massey family wants to see more done. They want to change the law. Her cousin even said,
I will dedicate my life dismantling the systems that created this problem.
This is a story we're going to be following for months, for years to come, as the Massey family makes sure their voices are not silenced and that their ideas are heard.
Deal ends Monday.
We're back with with a flashback to 2024, a.k.a. last year. Their 5th straight title game appearance for East St. Louis, and they did not disappoint, and they also did not slow down. Go Miller. When the name go, the word go, is in your name, you're pretty fast. They ran all over Geneva. 48-28 the final, winning the 6A state title game. For more on Darren Suckett, the head coach, let's go downstairs to Kalia Butler. Kalia?
A little fun fact of the day for you guys. East St. Louis was among the first Illinois high schools to play for a state championship back in 1974, thanks to IHSA's new playoff system. They've had fewer losing seasons than winning ones and are a powerhouse decades later with 11 titles, looking for their 12th one here tonight.
Thank you so much, Kalia. As we're back to action, and East St. Louis has responded nicely to that opening error, which led to a Fenwick touchdown. Here on 2nd down, quickly out, and now across the 40-yard line, still running, and finally taken down is Thies. Jake Thies with a nice run after the catch to get a first down on what was a behind-the-chain situation at 2nd and 15.
Good job of getting him out in the edge, not running in between the tackles, because at this point, they're not controlling the line of scrimmage. So we got to get away from that pressure up front, get him on the edge to a back that can run with the football after he catches it. And that's a great job right there by Fenwick and play calling.
21-yard pickup and more from Thies this time on the inside. Gets it across the 50. It's a 2-yard pickup.
Good way to start the second quarter for Fenwick, and the key is to keep that ball moving. They cannot afford to go into the special teams. Now, granted, they have a great punter, but they don't want to give the ball to East St. Louis. There's just too much going on there.
So Thies finally comes off the field. He'll take a break. Still a Thies in the backfield, though, and his brother, the senior running back, Tommy Thies. Tommy, a ball boy in 8th grade the last time that Fenwick won the state title. Rolling to his right, connecting with Cameron Garrett that time across to the 44-yard line. Still a few yards short of a first down, but a positive pickup there on 2nd down.
You want to be able to give the ball to the receiver in order to get some yards after the catch. You don't want any great or dramatic catch and you come up short of the first down.
3rd and 2 now from the 44-yard line. Jamin Williams trying to get his team up and down the field, struggling in the first quarter of this game from a yardage standpoint, although they did get the touchdown. And now Williams will keep it himself, looking to get some room, gets it, gets into the 3rd level, finally taken down by Jabari Lofton, the free safety, but he's all the way down inside the 30-yard line. It's a first down pickup of 16.
Well, that's certainly a play that Fenwick needed to have, and it shows you the versatility and athleticism of Jamin Williams right there, being able to cut back. I think the linebackers lost sight of where he was because he was behind that big pile of linemen.
He's only 5'9", now looking to throw it deep and long. That's only in range of a player wearing white, as Dakari Weaver was the only one back there. Not sure if there was a miscommunication with the route, but it's an incomplete pass for Fenwick.
I think it definitely was a miscommunication because there was nobody anywhere near that. There was a curl route there, but the man I think that was intended for ran a post rather than a flag. Fenwick cannot afford to give up plays like this. And what I mean by that is a play that does not gain any yardage whatsoever. It's one thing if it gains 2 or 3 yards. Okay, we can accept that. But not a play that gains nothing and stops the clock.
So now 2nd and 10 from the 28. Just at the beginnings here of the second quarter, the 6A state title game. Fenwick had a 7-0 lead, but they've given up 13 in a row. Now slinging it quick and picked off. And looking for room to run here. Still on his feet, finally taken down is David Davis. David Davis snags the ball out of the air. And a big play, a big turnover for East St. Louis to stop the Fenwick drive.
Well, Jamin Williams was just trying to make a play. And he's had the worst mechanics here. He'll throw against his body. He's looking deep, gets pressure, and you can see he just releases the ball. And that was just an ill-advised throw, but trying to make something happen. And you can imagine what's going through his head right now. You're in a state championship game and you're on a drive. You want to make something happen. You can see he doesn't have his feet underneath him. He's throwing across his body. Just a ill-conceived play right there.
So David Davis comes up with the big turnover, the interception, and now East St. Louis takes over, a chance to add to the 13-7 lead that they just procured on their last drive.
I want to limit the amount of possessions that East St. Louis has, and right now Fenwick is not doing that. And the only way you're going to eliminate the possessions of the opponent is to have long drives.
So now you can see in the backfield the quarterback, Reese Shanklin, and the running back, Myson Johnson-Cook, trying to stay warm, and Johnson-Cook breaks a tackle and then trips up. It is slippery out there.
It is.
Like the turf monster got him.
I said, those aren't salt pellets, you see. Actually, he could have been stopped right here. There's a couple missed tackles right there. That little move to the outside, and he got that defensive back kind of stepping to the outside, and he cut back up inside.
Gets it all the way out to the 44-yard line. New set of downs, 1st and 10, and Johnson-Cook is showing you not only the power and the speed, but also the deftness on that play. Froze Jake Thies in his tracks. Coming around the edge. Back through the middle. Barreling forward. It's a pickup of just 2 out to the 46-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, when you have a back like that, it's kind of interesting. He's so two-dimensional. You know, he's so big. You know, at 225, you say, okay, run between the tackles. That'll keep those inside linebackers honest. But the thing is, he's got such great speed to the outside. Name your poison. Once he touches the ball, you know, everybody tightens up. Because he can make it go inside. He can make it go outside with the power and the speed.
Fenwick trying not to fall behind by 2 scores. Meanwhile, East St. Louis back from their opening drive error. Low snap, able to get it out quickly. Ronnie Gomiller gets to the edge, still on his feet. He's busting it down the line. Did he stay in bounds? No, he stepped out of bounds. Otherwise, he'd be in the end zone for 6. But they're going to mark him out at the 34-yard line of Fenwick.
Good job by his fellow wide receivers to set up that quick screen on the outside. Some good blocking. If you watch right here, you'll see that they're locked on to people right here. He just cuts inside. They might be locked on a little too good, but they don't get any call there for holding, and he does a nice job of getting down the sideline.
Ronnie Gomiller glides to a 20-yard pickup. It's now 1st and 10 from the 34. East St. Louis on the move. The offense back in high drive.
A lot of pressure on the Fenwick defense. They really spread you out with formation.
Bunched up on the left side. It's Gomiller again. This time to the outside. Wow. Still on his feet, weaving his way all the way inside the 5 before being taken down at the 4-yard line. Ronnie Gomiller.
What an outstanding run after the catch. Now, this is what we talk about. Get a great athlete the ball out in the perimeter and let him make some plays. And this is just tremendous speed and cutbacks. Watch right here. He cuts back between 2 defenders and cuts back that quick. Amazing athlete.
But we have a penalty flag on the play, so this one is coming back. Holding was the call.
Now, you know, that's kind of an interesting call because that was a quick screen. Usually you'll see a holding call on a drop back pass or when the quarterback has to scramble because the defenders are trying to get to the quarterback and the offensive linemen are trying to grab onto him. You rarely see it. It's the bottom of the screen right there. Number 16 holding on. You rarely see it on a quick screen.
And now bouncing to the outside and on the move is Ahmad Coleman, who gets all the way inside the red zone before being knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line. East St. Louis is showing explosive play after explosive play. That's a pickup of 26, and they're making it look relatively easy.
Well, explosive play after explosive play by several explosive players. It's not just one. They've got an entire set of skilled athletes that make those plays.
So Coleman still in the backfield alongside Reese Shanklin. Man on the move. They get the pitch on the end around. Looking for room. This time denied. As Cortez Rupert tried to come around the corner, but that time he was met by a couple of black jerseys noticeably Mike Murphy, the linebacker.
Murphy and Jake Tice coming up and making the plays right here. A little double team on him. That's what they need. They need to have a big defensive play once in a while to stop these drives, because those athletes get out on the edges. They're pretty tough to tackle.
2nd and 13 from the 18-yard line. Another man in motion. This time, though, the give. And Coleman wrestled down, stopped by several defenders, including Mike Murphy leading the way.
Now, see, when Fenwick plays in the Catholic League, or when these teams play up in the Chicago area, they're not used to seeing this kind of team speed. They might see a running back that has great team speed, or excuse me, great individual speed, or a quarterback. But they don't see everybody's in the skilled position has this kind of speed. They're wide receivers, they're running back, they're quarterback. Everybody's got speed, so that really puts pressure on the secondary.
Big 3rd and 6 from the 11-yard line now. Shanklin, empty backfield. 4 receivers to his right. He's got a bunch near the line of scrimmage. And coming through quickly is Murphy, and dropping him for a sack and a loss. It's going to be 4th and long now in the red zone. Mike Murphy, like a blur, into the backfield and drops the hammer.
Well, he came right up that A-gap. They tied up the center and they tied up the nose, and he was able to come right in that seam right there. Great job by Mike Murphy. He's the #1 tackler on the defense. 6 foot, 205-pound senior. Averages 9 tackles a game. He's got 11 tackles for loss coming into this ball game, so there's another one to tack onto that, and shows you his activity as far as not being just a tackler, but he can play defense. As far as pass defense, he has 3 interceptions also.
East St. Louis lining up to go for it on 4th and 12, but they'll take a timeout. We'll come back with this big play at the 6A state final game after this.
Generation Lead, empowering athletes, inspiring leaders. For more information, visit generationlead.org.
When you fire up Big Ten Plus, you get more game, nonstop, around the clock. More live games you won't see anywhere else. More access to your team, wherever you want, 24/7. More stories.
Unstoppable.
More highlights. Whoa. More big-time playmakers. Plus, catch up to 4 games at once, so you'll never miss more shots, spikes, and scores. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on.
Back here at the IHSA Class 6A State Championship game between East St. Louis and Fenwick. It's the Flyers over the Friars, 13-7. A big 4th and 12 coming up for East St. Louis at the 17-yard line of Fenwick. Alongside Jack McInerney, the coach, I'm Marshall Harris. Kalia Butler with us on the sidelines. And this one has had a ton of intrigue here through a quarter and a half.
It really has. And, you know, people say, well, they're in field goal range. Well, that's if they had Fenwick's kicker. For them, they don't kick field goals because they rarely make extra points.
Instead, they go for it on 4th and 12 out of the shotgun now. And another flag, and that will move them back even further. 4th and 17 from the 22.
Their biggest Achilles heel is penalties in the kicking game.
So false start is the call. Take another look and see who jumped. And oh, there it is. The left guard, Jerry Richmond. Penalties right now. They've got 4 of them for 25 yards. And we are still, again, a half of a quarter to go. So they will go for it on 4th and 17.
Absolutely. You've seen what they can do, the kind of skill kids that they have. I mean, they give them the ball after a 2-yard gain, they turn it into a 62-yard game.
In the backfield is Amir Tillman, who stays in the block. Now looking to go deep into the end zone in the corner and falling down back there.
Good job defensively right there. He squeezed
Cortez Rupert.
He squeezed them right into the back line. Took away all the area And he did it with his body. Just kept moving him and squeezing him into the sideline.
So Cortez Rupert slips in the back of the end zone. It's a turnover on downs. Taking another look, and I see the size advantage was there, but Odin Furjak did just enough.
Did. And actually, that wasn't the first choice for Shanklin, because he was looking around, but he just put that up for grabs, saying, okay, I got an athlete who can go up and get it. Good job by Fenwick. That was a big stop right there for Fenwick. Now, first down will be crucial if they can get 4 or 5 yards here on first down.
Jamin Williams, of course, coming off the interception. Here he rolls to his left, unable to hit his intended target, Raphael Stewart, which looked like would have been a positive yardage play there, but unable to execute.
Tough for a right-handed quarterback to go to your left, and he's kind of thrown across his body, but he had room. The receiver was wide open. Fenwick, again, cannot afford to have plays that go negative. So this is one of those games that you're playing against such a good team that you cannot afford to have any miscues.
Here on the keeper is Williams, and he is rocked in the backfield, thrown to the ground. And
flag.
Is that going to be a flag? No flag coming out yet.
He reached in. He was reaching in to throw one.
And I do see.
Oh, we got one somewhere.
No, I don't believe there is a flag.
Well, I saw him starting to reach a little bit.
Big play, though, by Cornell McIntosh, the NIU commit. That'll bring up 3rd and 13 now, and they'll play behind the chains. Take another look here, Jag.
Good push right there. Yeah, that's totally unnecessary. You can see the little reach. Looked like a little reach. Maybe hit that flag too deep in that belt area.
Well, McIntosh knew that something was afoot because he threw his hands up like,
oh yeah, not me. I didn't do that.
Didn't mean to do that. Fenwick's going to take a timeout here. 3rd and 13 from their own 19. We'll show you what happens on 3rd and long when we come back. East St. Louis up 13-7 over Fenwick.
Dental and vision coverage through Delta Dental of Illinois. Get a plan that fits to a T.
Credit Union One, proud banking partner of the IHSA, offers the best of everyday banking. CU1 members gain access to competitive products like high-yield checking, dedicated financial wellness resources to help you build a strong foundation for the future, and nationwide access through 24/7 digital and mobile banking and an expansive network of 130,000 ATMs from coast to coast. Discover better banking for all at cu1.com.
Dental and vision coverage through Delta Dental of Illinois. Get a plan that fits to a T.
Back with a look at what happened on Friday when 4 state champions were crowned. Lena Winslow over Brown County in a big one. Wilmington, no trouble with Moreau. Forsyth in 2A and 3A, things got interesting. Byron barely eking out a win over Tolono Unity. And in 4A, it was Rochester, not enough for number 1 Montini, 47-33. Take a look at what's happened so far today. The rest of the slate, we split up what was scheduled originally for Saturday into 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow. Tonight, it was St. Francis in a barn burner against Providence Catholic, 39-35. Right now, East St. Louis with a 13-7 lead over Fenwick. And tomorrow in DeKalb, it will be St. Rita and Brother Rice getting together in the 7A state final. And in the 8A state final, number 1 in the state, Mount Carmel, takes on Oswego. Back here to the action, though. 3rd and 13 from their own 19-yard line. Jamin Williams looking to pass. No, it's a draw play. On his feet, slips by a couple of guys, and then gets all the way out to the 29-yard line, 28-yard line, I'll call it. So it's a pickup of 9. That'll still be well short of the first down, and I guess they were just making sure they didn't get into any trouble here.
Exactly. Good, safe play. If he picks it up, he picks it up. But when you've got a tool like that, the kicker that you have, you got to take advantage and use him to your advantage. Why get in trouble early? You're still in the ball game. You got a great kicker here. Run a safe play up the middle. If you get it, you got it. Right now, he can put them in poor field position.
Noah Sir has already delivered a season-long 61-yard punt. This one doesn't go as far, and the bounce isn't as... Oh, did he?
Gee whiz.
Like he was going to touch that?
I don't get it.
It's downed.
Oh, golly.
And they're having conversations, but Raheem Floyd looked like he reached in to
I thought he did, too. And again, the coaches are, what are you doing?
But instead, excellent field position coming. Let's take another look at Raheem Floyd here.
They should be nowhere near that ball. They should be 5 yards, 10 yards away from that ball. They're not going to handle it. Why stay around and be a spectator? That could have been easily called in the other direction.
It was not, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 43 for the Flyers. So far in this game, the yardage output from these two teams: for East St. Louis, 240 yards of offense, 55 yards of total offense. And back to the bell cow, the big fella, if you will, Myson Johnson Cook. Straight ahead before being tackled. It's usually a team effort to bring him down.
Absolutely. And the thing is that he got 5 yards on there, and normally he usually gets 11 yards a carry. That's usually his average.
Looked like Johnson Cook was going to come out, but he'll stay in the game. So twin back Coleman also in the game.
But Coleman comes in the ball game. He's the one that carries the ball. Look at the foot speed that he has.
So Coleman taken down after a first down pickup down to the 41-yard line.
11, first down, Flyers.
So it's a pickup of 11 yards. And now back to Johnson Cook. They're trying to gang tackle him. He's still moving forward. Finally stood up at the 32-yard line, a pickup of 9. So below his average.
Below his average, but gee, wouldn't you like to have a running back that has an average of 11 and he doesn't have a good run when he ends up with 9?
You see there, the Thies brothers in on that. But just a tough guy to bring down. Again, 6'3", 230 pounds. So we go under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Flyers trying to stretch it to a 2-score lead. Tries to get to the outside. That time wrestled down by Tommy Thies for a loss.
Well, they're so effective when they've been running inside the tackles and squeezing them down. You see those big linemen trying to get out in front of them. I mean, those linemen are so big they leave ruts when they're running. 296-pound average with those 5 guys. But the thing is, once those backs pop past them, they're gone in the open field. They're just so you're not going to get a lot of double teams and whatever on the backs because it's got to be a single tackle in the open field.
Here they are out of that bunch formation on the left side, but skying it over the intended target. Ronnie Gomiller that time is Reese Shanklin. So a 3rd and 3 becomes a 4th and 3. They've had a lot of success out of this bunch formation on the left side.
They really have, but this is just a bad throw. Whether or not he would have picked up the first down, he would have caught it, he would, from the distance he was at, but they're trying to double cover him.
East St. Louis 0 for 2 on 4th downs in this game. So that's 2 turnover on downs that the Fenwick defense has been able to put up. But this is a 4th and very short from the 34-yard line. He's got 3 wide receivers split out to his right. Pressure coming and a false start on 4th and 3. It's now 4th and 8.
Coach Darren Sunkett's having a minor blow up there, and I don't blame him. Again, giving up 3 yards and stopping the clock. You might be calling the timeout here. It's not a happy camper.
And Darren Sunkett does call timeout. The Flyers will talk things over. 13-7 lead. It feels like it's larger than a 6-point lead, though, if you've been watching this game.
It really is, and you can see Darren Sunkett is not wishing them happy holidays there. He's just really upset, and I don't blame him. I mean, you got the drive, you got them on their heels, and you have consecutive penalties in crucial situations. And this will be a big stop if it can happen for Fenwick. How they've stayed in the ball game so far after the runs that we've seen. You know, it's hard to believe, but it's a combination of Fenwick sticking with them and a combination of East St. Louis jumping the gun and being their own worst enemy at this point.
East St. Louis last year went 13-1. Their only loss last season was a 1-point overtime loss to IMG Academy. And you know what they do at IMG Academy, right?
Supposedly, it's not academics.
They just bring you down there to make you the best Division I football player
or basketball
player or any sport now that you can be. Throw volleyball in there, whatever the sport is. So a big 4th and 8 now.
Spreading them out all over the field. This is really tough defensively for Fenwick.
And now looking downfield, having a man bringing it in, and it's picked off.
Oh, mercy.
And on his way, moving down the field, and finally out of bounds is Odin Furjak.
What a stop. One thing would have been the stop, but it's a second thing to pick it off and get this kind of field position with a minute and 57 left. And the thing about this is, Fenwick can move the ball down, and they're still within range of a field goal because they do have a kicker.
Odin Furjak not only gets the interception, but returns it 46 yards to set up Fenwick with a chance with under 2 minutes to play in the first half to take the lead.
Fenwick's got to be really smart here to take advantage of this because they're not going to have this many opportunities in this game to have turnovers like that.
A reminder, Fenwick won the coin toss. They deferred, so they will get the ball to start the second half. Here's Jamin Williams. Back to pass. Taking a shot down the field. Coming up with it. Catching it and getting to the end zone with it is Cameron Garrett. It's a 37-yard touchdown. And Fenwick, on 2 huge plays, has taken the lead over East St. Louis.
That's an amazing throw. He threw that up. He's just looking because he didn't have him beat. He's putting it up in the air and say, you go get it. And he got inside leverage, and that was the difference. You can see how upset the defender is because he allowed him to get the inside leverage on the play.
The extra point is not a foregone conclusion. The game is tied, but Noah Sir has been pretty good, so we'll see if he delivers and makes it a 1-point lead.
He kind of makes it a foregone conclusion.
As he does there, plenty of punch on that one. It is 14-13 Fenwick as the Northwestern commit puts the Friars on top with 1:49 to play in the first half.
You wouldn't find anybody that would have believed this. Now, the only thing that I can say about this is this kind of reminds me of a couple years ago when Cary Grove played East St. Louis. And penalties hurt East St. Louis even though they had big plays. And Cary Grove showed great patience and was very methodical in their game plan and turned out to be the winner. And 99.9% of the people that watched the game or knew anything about East St. Louis would have said Cary Grove doesn't stand a chance. But, you know, stranger things have happened. We've had great state championship games, and this might be one of them.
So wasting no time, Fenwick, Odin Furjak, officially a 39-yard interception return. And on the very next play, turning around and making something happen is Jamin Williams hooking up with Cameron Garrett on a 37-yard touchdown. 14-13, Fenwick with the lead, and, well, finally, a ball that does not go through the end zone as the wind is blowing now in the direction of the kicker, Noah Sir. And so it goes out of bounds. They'll start with much better field position now.
We've talked about before how I've mentioned how statistics can be quite askew, and that's exactly what it is. You look at the stats, and you'd say hands down that East St. Louis has got to be up by about 2 or 3 touchdowns. But those statistics lie when you look at the scoreboard because Fenwick's taken advantage of that punt, that bad snap. They were able to go in and score, and now on this big play, they go in and score. So statistics can lie, and especially on the scoreboard.
So it'll be first down and 10 from the 35 after the kickoff goes out of bounds, and immediately they give it to the big fella, And he stopped, but not before pickup of 4 yards. As Myson Johnson Cook makes it 2nd and 6.
Got a little gimp there coming into that after that tackle.
Now we got 4 wideouts to the left for East St. Louis, and it's back to Johnson Cook. Little cutback, but doesn't get much there. Maybe a yard on the play as he is brought down. A nice job tackling that time by Zikamo Mbewe.
And number 99, Luke Leone. Good job right there, negating that front 5 of East St. Louis. What they're doing is they're trying to tie them up, and then the linebackers are coming up and making plays, and the secondary is doing a great job also. They're doing man coverage on the outside, and the safeties are coming up and helping the linebackers. They're giving a lot of defensive looks to East St. Louis. They're kind of throwing off their routes.
So Johnson Cook in the backfield on 3rd and 5 from the 40. Gets it again this time, turns upfield, gets the first down, and more still on his feet across the 50. It's going to take a village to bring down Myson Johnson Cook.
Johnson Cook, the ball carrier.
He is really an amazing back, isn't he?
I mean, just watching him absorb the contact.
Well, watch him. Starts out inside, and that one jump step right at the end, and then he pops it up inside.
14-yard pickup there. Now back to work. Still on his feet, stumbling ahead, and finally taken down at the 20-yard line. And just like that, a 26-yard pickup. And down. Is that Johnson Cook?
I don't think so, but I'm wondering why there wasn't a timeout called by East St. Louis after that run.
10 seconds left on the clock, and it was Johnson Cook who stayed down. He's being helped off the field. But now there's only 10 seconds left. And we talked about the kicking game.
Well, the kicking game is not a factor.
Damon Pruitt is 60 of 77 on extra points. He's 1 of 2. He's attempted 2 field goals this season. So with 10 seconds left, are you just going for broke here?
I think so. I don't think there's any way that they're going to kick a field goal.
Timeout taken by East St. Louis, so we have time to discuss such things.
Yes.
Timeout, East St. Louis.
But what's interesting is, East St. Louis is a threat anywhere on the field. You can say, well, they don't have good field position, so nothing's going to happen. They can score from anywhere on the field. Just a very impressive high school football team.
Looks like they might be checking Myson Johnson Cook for a concussion. 16 carries, 145 yards, a touchdown.
Yeah, they
Below
are.
his season average, though, just 9.1 per carry.
Well, look at that right there. It's an amazing statistic.
And it's not halftime yet. It will be halftime in 10 seconds, but it's not yet halftime.
I just hope that he's okay, because a talent like that needs to continue to play in the game.
He's not out here for this, what could be the final play of the half. Amir Tillman in the backfield. Here's Reese Shanklin looking to make something happen in the middle. Goes up, contact. Did he pull it in? No, it's an incomplete pass. That one intended for Amir Tillman.
Boy, they flooded this side. They ran a wheel route up inside. They tried to pull the safety in. Well, that ball was right on the money. The Fenwick's very fortunate. The safety got over there late. They got one play left with 5 seconds left. Now, what you got to watch here, too, is Fenwick, the defensive backs, you can see how far off they are, but you got a quarterback that can really scramble in Reese Shanklin. So if all of a sudden they do a good job of defending the pass, he's liable to scramble. Now, Fenwick is smart. They call a timeout right here to get regrouped.
So Matt Battaglia and company will go over all the scenarios here with 5 seconds left on the clock. East St. Louis at the 20-yard line. And we know that they have enough playmakers that just because they don't throw it to the end zone doesn't mean they can't get to the end zone.
All you got to do is hand them the ball. And this is a perfect example of teams when you talk about that term YAC, yards after catch. You can throw the ball to them at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to gain 25 yards after that. That's the kind of athletes they want. Other teams have backs, they'll make the catch, but they're going to go down within a yard or two. When you have talent and speed like East St. Louis does, that doesn't happen.
What an exciting first half that we have been gifted here today on the campus of Illinois State University. Again, Amir Tillman is the back in the backfield. Now he motions out to the right. Here's Shanklin. Last play.
Oh, there it goes.
And here he is off to the races. Can they stop him? He does get taken down at the 5-yard line. Big play that time by Thies. Jake Thies.
I said they spread out that secondary, and he can scramble, and that could be a bad thing, and him coming up limping is even worse.
Reese Shanklin looks like he is hurt. Grabbing his right knee. Take another look. What a hit as Jake Thies comes across and knocks him down, and he is still limping as he's walking off the field. A heated conversation taking place. Let's go downstairs to Kalia Butler, who's got Matt Battaglia. Kalia?
Coach, up at half right now, but really your defense has been kind of the strong point for you guys right now. How have you been able to stop a St. Louis team right now?
Well, I think the weather plays a big role in it. You see with both sides, it's really making it one-dimensional. Both teams want to run the ball, so just making plays when we need to, but both teams have shot themselves in the foot right now. We got a lot to clean up on. We're very fortunate to be up right now.
What's the message to this team at half?
It's right where we knew the score was going to be tight at halftime. Not a lot of people believed. Now just finish it. Be the hammer.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kalia. Matt Battaglia has his team in the state championship game for the second time in his 6 seasons. Meanwhile, 6 years in a row, that's how many times in a row East St. Louis has been here at halftime. It's a 14-13 Fenwick lead.
Pay big with these hot deals at Menards. All fresh-cut Christmas trees are on sale starting at just $29.99. Lined performance work gloves are only $4.99 after rebate. Get a 16-piece glass food storage set for just $9.97 after rebate. A 5-tier shelving unit, only $24.99 after rebate. Hurry, these great deals won't last long. Sign up for Menards emails to get the weekly flyer plus exclusive daily flash sales right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards. Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of salutes. Capture this moment and go forward together.
I'm a proud man. So asking my son to help me bathe, that was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Walk-in tubs give you independence and peace of mind with low step-in doors, slip-resistant floors, soothing hydrotherapy jets, and fast-drain technology.
Now I don't need anybody's help. I've got my dignity back.
1-833-304-0361. 1-833-304-0361.
The IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student-athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
Before she became a global icon, Jackie Joyner Kersee was already rewriting history in Illinois. At East St. Louis Lincoln High School, she led her team to 3 consecutive IHSA Class AA track and field state titles. Her dominance extended to the hardwood. After a near miss in 1980, she powered Lincoln to the 1981 state basketball championship. At UCLA, Joyner Kersey was a dual sports star, excelling in basketball and track. Her NCAA heptathlon title foreshadowed Olympic greatness. Across 4 Olympic Games, she captured 6 medals, 3 gold, 1 silver, 2 bronze, and set a heptathlon world record that stood for over 30 years. Today, her impact continues through the Jackie Joyner Kersey Foundation, uplifting youth in East St. Louis. From IHSA champion to one of the greatest female athletes of the 20th century, Jackie Joyner Kersey's legacy is unmatched.
A handful of years ago, my husband was really ill in the hospital. He has an autoimmune condition that causes a bleeding problem. He was in the hospital for over 40 days and needed 7 blood transfusions over the course of a couple of weeks. The blood really was a key component to getting him well again and getting him back out. Watching somebody that you care about, or the person that you care about the most, being that ill and sort of not knowing if you're gonna go home by yourself or they're gonna come out the other side and you're gonna go home together. It's hard to describe. It's very emotional, it's really taxing. You sort of put everything else on hold and just focus on doing anything you can do to get them well. If you aren't able to find time in your schedule to give blood, but can maybe help organize a blood drive somewhere else, or can find a bloodmobile that's able to come to your place of work or things like that, I would encourage you to sort of help in any way you can. Even if it's just encouraging other people to donate, because I know there are some people that want to donate blood but can't for whatever reason, then I would say encourage others and help others find a place to donate. There is not enough gratitude in the world to express how thankful we are that blood was donated and he was able to get help. He's still alive because of blood donation.
Every Friday evening, I'll take you on a journey through the history that shaped Central Illinois. We dive into the stories from WCIA3's extensive archives, bringing decades of breaking news, past trends, and reflections of life from years gone by. From the Vault is your Friday evening tradition, whether you're reminiscing about the past or discovering something new about our history.
From the Vault, Friday nights at 6, only on WCIA3 News.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Hi, my name is Eunmi Shim. I serve as the president of OSF St. Joseph Medical Center. OSF Healthcare is the official healthcare partner of the IHSA, and that means something to us. In any community, youth is the future. Anything that we do to nurture them, to grow them, is going to make the community successful. From that perspective, OSF St. Joseph Medical Center wants to do our parts as well. Supporting high school sports programs, especially the basketball programs, is going to lead us to stronger and healthier youth that will be understanding the community and be part of the future of the community. We have a long tradition of working with the youth as a healthcare system. We also want to attract them to our healthcare profession as well. So if they get to know us more and better, I know it will help them to consider a healthcare career and be part of this community to continue to grow with us. Our commitment extends beyond the event, so visitors have access to healthcare if needed during their time here. For minor illnesses and injuries, OSF On-Call Urgent Care is available for in-person care from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week, and 24/7 virtual care through osfoncall.org. We also offer orthopedic and sports medicine, even partnering with Ortho Midwest and primary care providers. We also provide athletic trainers through our sports medicine program. We can highlight our healthcare provider partnership with Illinois State University and Illinois Wesleyan University in Bloomington. Thank you for being a part of OSF Healthcare community. For more information, please visit osfhealthcare.org.
Every great business begins with a single vision. Day in and day out, you roll up your sleeves to get the job done. But growing a business means more than hard work. It takes the right partner. And at Midland States Bank, we're behind you every step of the way. With services that grow as you do. We're here for every milestone and every kept promise. With expert guidance to plan next steps or passing the torch to the next generation. At Midland, we help build businesses that last.
WCIA has been following this story since 2024 when Sonia Massey was shot and killed by a former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy. The Peoria County Courthouse, we had a presence there all 8 days. There was a impact all across the country. I mean, you had national news outlets covering this. When we say community impact, it really wasn't just in Springfield, just in Champaign, just in our viewing area. It was everywhere. When I was there, I interviewed supporters who stood all 8 days outside of the Peoria County Courthouse.
A personal moment. The moment I shared with Sonia Massey's father, James Wilburn, when I asked him, you know, what he thought Sonia would say if she was still alive today, and I'll never forget his answer.
I love you, Daddy, because that's the way we ended every conversation, be it in person or on the phone, was I love you, Daddy.
I think that really brought a human aspect out of the story to show this wasn't just a person. This was someone's daughter, someone's mother. We really wanted to get to the family, to the friends, to the Springfield community that knew Sonia really well. The story is not over. We have sentencing coming up at the end of January in Sangamon County, where we will learn how long Sean Grayson will be in jail. The Massey family wants to see more done. They want to change the law. Her cousin even said,
I will dedicate my life dismantling the systems that created this problem.
This is a story we're going to be following for months, for years to come, as the Massey family makes sure their voices are not silenced and that their ideas are heard.
Every day brings new opportunities to grow and learn. At WCIA3, I take you into Central Illinois' community colleges to learn more about the programs and support that can help you thrive. From hands-on training to personalized education, these colleges equip you with valuable skills. Join me to discover how they're making a difference and guiding your next step.
Community College Connection, Wednesday morning at 9, brought to you by Connexus.
Back here at Illinois State University, where it is a 14-13 Fenwick Friars lead over the East St. Louis Flyers in what has been dominance on one side as far as stats are concerned, but the scoreboard is all that matters. Take a look at the first half. Not so special teams to start things off. East St. Louis having issues. Reese Shanklin gets taken down on what should have been a punt, and then Fenwick pays it off immediately. Jake Thies into the end zone from 4 yards out. And then Amir Tillman answers, and this is the threat East St. Louis presents every snap.
Unbelievable speed, but just great running ability in the open field. But Fenwick has hung in there with trying to stay away from that speed.
That's despite some mistakes like this pass from Jamin Williams, picked off by David Davis. And then Ronnie Gomiller thought he had a touchdown here, but barely stepped out of bounds. The explosive plays have been there all day for East St. Louis, but they've had a lot of penalties, and then they make the occasional mistake. Reese Shanklin, he was looking for a man. It probably was not Odin Furjack, a 39-yard interception return, and then the Friars pay it off on the next play, as that's a big one from Cameron Garrett for 37 yards, and that's the difference in the ballgame.
Really has been, and the thing is, too, that Fenwick has taken opportunities for every chance that they've gotten field position. But this is just absolutely, positively the most mind-boggling statistic I've seen for a halftime. When you look at East St. Louis, you're thinking those are the results of a whole game. And if Fenwick, it's going to say, well, is that a first quarter? No, it's halftime. Look at the difference, and yet Fenwick is winning 14-13. That's just amazing.
322 total yards and just 93 time of possession, over twice as much for East St. Louis. The Fenwick Friars, a 1-point lead at the break. We're back with the second half after this.
A handful of years ago, my husband was really ill in the hospital. He has an autoimmune condition that causes a bleeding problem. He was in the hospital for over 40 days and needed 7 blood transfusions over the course of a couple of weeks. The blood really was a key component to getting him well again and getting him back out. Watching somebody that you care about, or the person that you care about the most, being that ill and sort of not knowing if you're gonna go home by yourself or they're gonna come out the other side and you're gonna go home together. It's hard to describe. It's very emotional. It's really taxing. You sort of put everything else on hold and just focus on doing anything you can do to get them well. If you aren't able to find time in your schedule to give blood, but can maybe help organize a blood drive somewhere else, or can find a blood mobile that's able to come to your place of work or things like that, I would encourage you to sort of help in any way you can. Even if it's just encouraging other people to donate, because I know there are some people that want to donate blood but can't for whatever reason, then I would say encourage others and help others find a place to donate. There is not enough gratitude in the world to express how thankful we are that blood was donated and he was able to get help. He's still alive because of blood donation.
Being a cowboy, I don't know anything different from when I was 3 or 4 years old. I did tough things. I thought everybody needed to do tough things, and if you didn't, I didn't have time for it. I had a very successful career at a very young age, and life was fast. I was preparing physically. I wasn't doing anything mentally on the inside. And then I got hurt. I wanted to be better as a person, and I really dug into mental health. I start my day with 20-minute workouts. I live life 8 seconds at a time. Horses are so therapeutic. They know what you're feeling. When you're nervous, they're nervous. He won't say it back, but we're pals. I take a lot of responsibility in taking care of my kids, my family, and being there for them. You're gonna have tough days. Everybody does. Find a place to stop and just breathe. Love your mind.
Back with the halftime stats brought to you by Menard. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. Take note of the 265 rushing yards at the break by the Flyers out of East St. Louis. Of that 265, Myson Johnson-Cook has 16 carries for 143 yards and a score. Let's go downstairs to Kalia Butler. Kalia?
Coach, in the first half, I heard some of your coaches say to tighten up to your players. What is this team still capable of doing in the second half?
I mean, we're capable of doing what we've done all season, putting points on the board and shutting down the other team's offense. We just got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot, making mistakes at the wrong time.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kalia. Appreciate that. Words from Darren Sunkett. Taking a look right there at Reese Shanklin. He's got 57 yards passing, but he's been doing a whole lot of handing off to Myson Johnson-Cook. Ronnie Gomiller, the leading receiver, with 34 yards. Meanwhile, on the other side, there hasn't been a whole lot of offense for Jamin Williams and company. They've got 93 yards of total offense so far in this game, but they have the lead, which is the most important.
Yeah, but they've taken advantage of turnovers. You're right. But when you have your quarterback, your leading passer, and your leading rusher, and yet those aren't really great stats for a leading passer and rusher, that tells you something about what's going on. But again, the stats are just mind-boggling when you look at the score.
And of course, Cameron Garrett with 43 yards receiving. A big portion of that is the 37-yard touchdown, which is the difference in the score in this game.
Well, the other part that's going to be different here is what is Fenwick going to do with this opening kickoff? Are they going to be able to sustain any kind of a drive? Because if they are able to score here, that's going to be an emotional move for them, and it's going to really flatten East St. Louis quite a bit. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they do with this first possession of the second half.
Fenwick won the coin toss, elected to defer. And then they got the bonus of almost feeling like they got the ball to start the game because they get the 3 and out. And then on the punt, they force a terrible loss, which sets them up 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Able to get into the end zone on a Jake Thies 4-yard touchdown run on the first play, 1st and goal. And now kickoff here for St. Louis. It's back to receive. Cameron Garrett, Will Tomczak. And the ball falls off the tee because it is windy out here now. We're seeing a lot of snow blowing around. It's not snowing, it's just snow off the top of the stadium.
Well, this could be tough for East St. Louis. Hasn't had any issues in their last 4 playoff games. They haven't even been tested at all.
And now on the kickoff return, a whistle blows, and see what the flag is.
I think we got
offside?
an offside down here in the kickoff team.
That is not the way that East St. Louis wants to start the second half. So they will move it back 5 yards. Now kickoff from the 35-yard line. And they'll redo the second half kick.
You know, talking about competition in the playoffs, East St. Louis, in their games, they won 63-7, 53-14, 49-0, and 50-7. No challenges whatsoever in the playoffs. Fenwick, on the other hand, won 42-6, 45-7, then 49-21, and then that last big, and some people would call upset of Nazareth, the defending state champ, 28-27. So they've had some competition, a little more so than East St. Louis.
Here's a line drive picked up and then stopped in his tracks. Here comes a penalty flag from behind, so we'll see what that is. To your point, Jack, East St. Louis winning their playoff games through 4 games by an average score of 54-7.
That's, you know, kids get cocky. They start thinking, nobody can stay with us. And, you know, that's a mindset that the coach has got to fight through to get these kids to realize, hey, look it. You know, we've had it easy thus far, but we're going to run into somebody that's going to give us some competition, and that has happened tonight with Fenwick. That does not help.
So the hold is called on Nico Scudero. And it'll bring it all the way back to the 20-yard line for Fenwick. They'll have it 1st and 10, Jamin Williams. Empty backfield to start off this possession. 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Now Williams getting instructions from Matt Battaglia and company from the sideline. Again, a 1-point lead for Fenwick despite being outgained. Quick out to Thies. He's got to cut back. The flag in the backfield might be a late hit. It's a big gain for Jake Thies, 33 yards. But let's see what that flag is.
It'll be roughing the passer. It is going to be roughing the passer, so Fenwick's going to be in a situation where they're going to get a big play right off the bat, but it looks like they're bringing it back. I'm confused. The flag was thrown basically well, that's what I think it's roughing the passer, but I can't figure out why they're all moving back, because it was after the play. I would think that they would decline the penalty and take the gain.
Let's see. And they are running forward now.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. What a way to start first play of the game.
And the sideline warning against Fenwick.
I think the Fenwick Friar coaching staff was a little upset with the hit to the quarterback, and that's why they got a little rambunctious on the sideline.
But what a huge play. And what about these 2 penalties off the top for East St. Louis? We saw the first penalty. We've had penalties on both teams here in the first 2 plays of the game, or excuse me, the second half. They're going to have the ball first down and 10 from the 27-yard line.
They got the game with the play, and then the penalty attacked on top of that.
It's a 53-yard pickup when you add that play and the penalty together. Well, Jamin Williams has an opportunity here. Still empty backfield. Let's see what the Friars dial up here. And it is a quarterback draw. Looking for room to run. He gets taken down this time. Pulled down by Philip White. The linebacker comes up, stops him. Doesn't look like much of a gain, if any.
When he runs that draw up the middle, he can't afford to try and bounce it outside. You're not going to outrun that speed. You got to keep running right at it. You got to put a move on him, but you got to keep running right at it.
So now 2nd and 10 from the 27. Fenwick a 1-point lead here to start the second half. They are deep already into East St. Louis territory after a couple of plays.
Let that clock run down to 5.
Jake Thies in the backfield. He will get the carry. He's going forward ahead. Spins his way across the 20-yard line and down into the red zone. It's a big pickup. It'll be a 3rd and short now.
So crucial at that play to get that kind of yardage down in this position, because, again, keep in the back pocket the fact that they've got a great field goal kicker. So they're going to come out, hopefully, with points on this possession. That's what they're looking for.
Tyrell Johnson with the stop there. Back to Thies being in the backfield alongside Williams. 3rd and 3 from the 20 now. They'll shift the personnel and bunch it up on the left side. Here's Williams, the give to Thies. On his feet, ahead to the 15. And he picks up the first down. Pick up a 5 on the play. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 15.
Nice job by the offensive line. Schultz, Deligan, Wall, Ruckin, and Valiglio. Some big guys up there, 260 pounds. But now you can see the formation that Fenwick's giving them. Make them think about it as they break into it, hopefully to goof up their secondary coverage and where the linebackers are.
So now they'll shift things around again until Thies gets into the backfield. 1st and 10 from the 15. Another give to Thies. This time in trouble. Gets wrapped up from behind by Gregory Bell, the big defensive lineman. Play did not develop fast enough, and Bell found his way and said, look what I found.
It's tough to move that defensive front. And one of the things is those 3 down linemen, they tie up that center and the guard initially, and those linebackers fill very, very quickly.
Empty backfield again for Williams. They are content to let as much of the play clock run off as possible. Eating up time on this drive. Now back to pass. Pressure coming. Wow, next with Raphael Stewart. It's a touchdown.
What a throw and catch.
15-yard strike as Stewart hauls it in tight coverage. And the Friars with a chance to go up by 8.
What a throw and catch, and it's even more dramatic when he had a defender coming right in his face right there. And he got popped just as he threw it. You talk about a gutsy throw.
Good pressure there, but it was too late, and Jabari Lofton was a step too slow. Noah Sir, his extra point is up and through. Fenwick, a 21-13 lead over East St. Louis.
Want to stay in the loop and keep your finger on the pulse of your community? Make the WCIA3 News app. your ultimate source for top news stories, the latest weather forecasts, local sports updates, and more, all right at your fingertips. Stay connected with the stories that matter to you and get real-time updates so you're always informed and ready for what's coming ahead. Download the WCIA3 News app now, available on Apple and Android.
Being a Cowboy, well, I don't know anything different. I had a very successful career. Life was fast. I was preparing physically. I wasn't doing anything mentally. And then I got hurt. I dug into mental health. I wanted to be better as a person. I start my day with a workout. I live life 8 seconds at a time. Find a place to stop and just breathe. Love your mind.
Through our apprenticeship program. After 5 years, you'll finish with no debt, money in the bank, and you'll be on your way towards a pension. Scan the QR code and apply today, or visit our website to learn more.
Back with another look at the touchdown that made it an 8-point lead. The quick strike from Jamin Williams to Raphael Stewart. Stewart able to hang on, and Fenwick finds themselves up 21-13. They score in the final 4 minutes of the first half. They score in the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Good adjustments made at halftime for Fenwick. But a lot of courage shown right there by Jamin Williams. I mean, he made that throw with a linebacker coming right in his face. And right after he delivered the football with the follow-through, he got whacked really good. So that tells me that he's got a lot of guts to stand in there and make that throw.
Here's Noah Sir. Sends one deep. That'll be returnable, brought in, and trying to weave his way out, but tackled that time by Thies was Jamori Ware. 6-play, 80-yard drive that took 3:13 off the clock to start the third quarter.
And part of that was it was a nice throw for 40-some yards, but the penalty roughing the passer, which added on to that and gave them even greater field position.
It was like a 1-2 punch, and here's Myson Johnson Cook on the sidelines after a 16-carry first half for 143 yards and a touchdown. Instead, the carry will be to Tillman, who finds himself getting some positive yardage, but not much.
Now, Tillman's a heck of a running back, but he doesn't have the same power. He has the quickness, but he doesn't have the power. What a good job right there. He kind of shows you the quickness of coming down flat down the line of scrimmage. And obviously that young man has done well in geometry, knowing the angles to take.
So Johnson Cook now back out there in the backfield alongside Shanklin. He gets it to the left side this time, looking for room to run, meets up with Thies and drags him forward across the 30-yard line out to the 31. Tommy Thies thought he had a stop, and he was on the go.
I think Tommy Thies was waiting for some help. He was hanging on for dear life. But he did a great job right there of stringing that play out, because it could have been a much bigger play. But he stayed on the outside shoulder and forced that thing to be strung to the sideline, which slowed down Cook from getting around the edge.
So a 1st and 10 now after the big pickup out to the 31-yard line. And now the quick out to Ronnie Gomiller, met by the other Thies. Jake Thies hits him immediately. It's a pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Those Thies brothers are pretty tough characters. You can see him come right up with this quick screen from the inside coming out. Good job right there defensively.
East St. Louis trying to get the offense back and cranked up. They were running all over Fenwick in the first half. Had some unforced errors, self-checks, if you will, that led them to losing. Low snap on that shotgun play. Thies with the immediate pressure, but it's completed. And now out to midfield, still being pushed across and finally blown dead at the 49-yard line after a big pickup that time by Ahmad Sharp. 16-yard pickup on the play.
They needed that play. They needed that, or they would have put it back to Fenwick. Bad snap. Good job right there by Reese Shanklin getting the ball out there. And this just shows you some competitiveness in here, keeping that ball, moving the ball down the field.
So now 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Johnson Cook, another low snap, but Johnson Cook gets it to the outside. Runs into some trouble and gets taken down, but not until after he gets across midfield. Pickup of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7.
You can see that Fenwick's putting some pressure on the center because the last 2 snaps have been low, and that can lead to some timing issues for the running backs when they're coming around to get the ball handoffs or any kind of screens. When the ball's snapped low like this, that throws everything off, especially if you're going to try and throw the ball downfield.
Ahmad Coleman replaces Johnson Cook in the backfield, gets the handoff to the left side, gets tripped up from behind and taken down. Mike Murphy had the immediate contact, and then he was finished off by a host of defenders, including Mbewe.
Mike Murphy, very quick coming from that middle linebacker spot. Just taking the angle inside, showing some quickness. 205-pounder. Comes right in your screen right there, flying up into the seam. That's just a really excellent football play by a good linebacker.
So now a 3rd and 10 situation for East St. Louis.
Well, they got issues here personnel-wise.
They're trying to get their act together. Coleman comes off. Amir Tillman comes back in. 3rd and 10 from the 49. Shanklin finds a man for a 1st down. Sidestepped. Ronnie Gomiller still on his feet. And he gets finally stacked up at the 31-yard line, but Gomiller made 3 different players in black jerseys miss.
That was some poor communication by the secondary, because once the back went in motion, the safety slid open. He's wide open right here down the seam, and it shouldn't be that easy. Or statistically, everything's been easy for them.
And continuing to slide down the field after a 20-yard pickup. 1st and 10 from the 31. So East St. Louis getting back into a groove here. Down by 8. They led most of the first half before Fenwick came on late out of a turnover. This time the handoff to the near side and slipping a tackle and staying on his feet, now falling forward and out of bounds this time is Amir Tillman. That's a big pickup inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. It'll be 2nd and short.
Excellent speed, get into the outside. He's only 5'8", 170 pounds, but he's a junior, and he's got excellent speed on the edges.
So Tillman comes out. Johnson Cook back in. Shanklin orchestrating it all. Already under 5 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Shanklin gives it to Johnson Cook. Comes back to the left. Bowls over 1 defender. Finally pulled down. As Fenwick gets the stop, but not before he picks up a 1st down. It's a 4-yard pickup. 1st and 10 from the 19 now.
What Fenwick's doing here is they're forcing East St. Louis to use the clock. Even though they're a big explosive team, they're still running the clock, and that's exactly what Fenwick wants them to do.
So a fresh set of downs here. Down inside the red zone now. Johnson Cook trying to go up the middle. Stopped. Leading the way. Mbewe. Scratch that. It was Luke Leone that time. Leone using all 260 pounds of his frame to put a stop to Johnson Cook. It's a 1-yard pickup.
Well, for them to stop them on those negative yards like that is so important, because they're so capable of an explosive play at any time.
12th play of the drive now. Tillman. Shanklin keeps it himself. Pulled down from behind. That time it is Mbewe.
That was a nice job right there of forcing him to run with the football, because the man coverage that was on the wide side of the field, he looked for it. He was covered, so it forced him to scramble. And that's exactly what Fenwick's doing. They're challenging him with the corners on their wide receivers, saying, we're not going to double up. and that forced him to pull it down and try and run, and that's where they made the stop. Got a timeout for East St. Louis here.
So East St. Louis wants to talk things over. 3rd and 6 from the 15-yard line. 4 of 8 on 3rd downs are the Flyers. Right now, down by 8, trying to catch up with the Fenwick team on top, 21-13.
Every great team starts with trust. The kind of trust that builds over time. For 50 years, Country Financial has teamed up with IHSA in our communities. And for 100 years, we've protected you with insurance that does more. From the best times to the tough ones, a great team's got your back when it matters most. Thanks for your trust for 100 years. Here's to 100 more. Country Financial. Experience more.
Have a cough, sore throat, or fever, or need care now for pink eye, a urinary tract infection, or a rash? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Get care in person, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, even holidays, and walk out with a prescription for your care if needed. Make a reservation today or start a virtual visit 24/7. It's just that easy. Find a location near you. osfoncall.org/urgent care.
In case you were wondering what it feels like outside of our cozy booth, Jack, 22 degrees out there. It feels like temperature of 20 degrees. The wind is bustling 5 to 11 miles per hour. By the way, it's cloudy.
Unbelievable. I don't know how I'm going to get to my car in these wearing these shorts.
We'll have someone escort you. We'll have someone escort you with a big giant blanket like they give the marathon runners when they're done.
Yes. Big play right here.
3rd and 6 from the 15-yard line. Fenwick has done a pretty good job of getting to these types of situations. If they can get it to a 4th down, they've done an excellent job.
They really have, but East St. Louis has done a nice job of making things happen when they're in these situations.
Here's Shanklin looking to go Miller. Can't hold on to it. Loose ball, and it falls to the turf, but Ronnie Gomiller just couldn't get the hands on it and haul it in. And a player down on the field hurt.
Good job here, misdirection. What a great job of coming up and making that play. That's outstanding defense right there by Aiden Williams, number 28. Big play.
And Williams is still down, I believe. Looks like a cramp. The training staff is over to talk to him, but back to the game itself and the next play, 4th down.
Who'd ever thought you'd get a cramp when it's 20 degrees?
Well, you know,
gotta hydrate. I tell you that all the time.
Yes, and that's what you get fooled out here because you're not down here sweating, and it feels good to be cool.
Yes.
Or maybe not good, but it feels better to be colder and feel like you're good, but you still need to hydrate even if it's not hot outside.
You're learning a lesson. I've been trying to tell you that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here to
stay hydrated,
to impart your wisdom upon me and everyone listening to this broadcast right now, as looks like he's going to be okay, getting escorted off the field. But East St. Louis, 0 for 3 on 4th down in this game.
Yeah.
And every time we've said it, it's been a big one.
Yeah. There's another big one.
So 6 yards to go to get to the 9-yard line. It'll be interesting to see what they dial up here. In the backfield alongside is LaRon Baker Jr. now. The wide receiver is the option to be in the backfield. And now he will split out wide to the left.
Now there's no inside linebacker, so you got to watch for the quarterback draw.
And a flag comes out before the play. It is a false start against East St. Louis.
Yep, that's what it is.
On the offense. 16, 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
Now, by formation here, you could see what they're trying to do. They're spreading them out by formation. Then they take that back and they run him in motion. That pulls the middle linebacker out to have pass coverage on him. Quarterback's all alone for a quarterback draw. Well, now you can see they're trying to do the same thing, but Fenwick's not falling for it.
4th and 11 from the 20 now. That was their 7th penalty for 50 yards. Here's Shanklin. Connects. He's got his man.
First down.
And he's got a first down. LaRon Baker Jr. comes into the game and makes an impact play, gets down to the 6-yard line where it will be first and goal for the Flyers.
What a nice throw by Shanklin sitting in there and putting the ball right on the money. Pretty good catch right there. But what a big first down for East St. Louis.
First down. Looks like East St. Louis has an injury now, as limping off the field. It's one of their receivers, Jamori Ware.
He had a pretty nice cushion there. Kind of surprised that he had that much room down there. I think they kind of out-personneled them as far as matching up, the matchups on that particular formation.
We have twin cramps going on the field. Jamari Moore just walked off the field. He's dealing with a cramp. And if you look out there, you see one of Fenwick's players also dealing with a cramp. So I think everyone, because it's not hot, they're not drinking as much as they should. And now we've got a lot of cramps out here in the second half of this 6A title game.
Kind of interesting. It's not that they want to get FaceTime, because
this isn't the way you want to get it.
This is not the way you want to get it. Boy, that was a big play for East St. Louis.
Those are some important players, but I'm going to gather to say the more important player for each of these teams right now that's dealing with the cramping is going to be the defensive player here, because Mike Murphy has meant a lot to what they've been able to do as far as trying to slow East St. Louis down.
No doubt about it. He's the quarterback of the defense, and he's been the MVP defensively. Now, they've had a lot of kids come up defensively, though, as far as making big plays, but Murphy certainly is the catalyst and the backbone of that defense.
He's their leading tackler with 116 on the season coming into the championship game. He's also got 3 interceptions on the season.
Well, East St. Louis has been here many, many times, and Fenwick has played for the state championship one other time, and that was 2001, and they won it. They won the 5A state champ, and as I remember, I think they beat Kankakee 34-15, and that game at that time was played at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb. So the Friars have been to the state championship. They've held that trophy up. East St. Louis had to build a whole new wing under the high school to handle all the trophies they have.
Again, they've been a very successful program since their inception. They're going for their 5th state championship in the last 10 years, 12th overall tonight.
That's an amazing statistic when you think about it. Just a solid football program.
And now back to work. First and goal from the 6-yard line with 2:25 to play here in the third quarter. Johnson Cook back into the game. He gets the handoff, going to the left side, staying on his feet but being dragged down before he can get to the end zone. Pickup of a couple down to the 4-yard line before being tripped up.
See, down in this area, speed is not a major factor. It's more line play and getting right at people with some power running. Because the speed, you know, when you're in open field, it's more elusive to try and tackle somebody like that. Right now, Fenwick has a 12th defender, which is that back line, so they don't have to worry about deep routes, vertical routes. They got to worry about power.
Johnson Cook,
he's got the power.
Didn't need much power there. He was kind of escorted into the end zone on that touchdown. And now the Flyers will have a chance to go for 2 and tie this ball game with 1:43 left. Myson, Johnson, Cook.
Yeah, this is the power talked about when you have a short field like this. And, of course, he could have walked in right there. Nice job by that offensive line of Berry Hill, Richmond, Tillman, Donnelly, and Henderson. Did a nice job right there.
Tempting to go back to him here on this 2-point conversion attempt?
Well, why not? You're running behind a 296-pound offensive line, and he's a 225-pound running back.
He's not back there.
He's not back there.
Looking for a connection here to the back of the end zone, pulling it in.
What a
Ronnie Gomiller gets the two-point conversion, high points it in the back of the end zone. It's a tie ball game at 21 apiece.
They're capable anytime. This is just really a great throw. He's thrown to a spot, and he just goes up and gets it. That's a little matchup there that they wanted to get. Ronnie Goldmiller, who can go up in the air. He just got good inside position, and the ball was thrown where it had to be, over the top. The defender was underneath, and the ball was thrown over the top.
15 plays, 80 yards, 6 minutes and 54 seconds off the clock. When they started that drive, we had 8:37 left in the third quarter. When they scored, just 143 on the board.
Well, this certainly is more of a ball game than most people expected it to be. But give credit to both teams. They've just played extremely well. Been a back and forth, take advantage of field position, take advantage of turnovers.
Now the kickoff. Coming up to get it and looking for some blocking. Doesn't get much. Taken down at the 25-yard line by a host of white shirts.
Good job there, the coverage team.
Ronan Morrissey taken down. And now we'll see how Fenwick responds after having this ball game tied up.
You know, Fenwick's not a big play team. That's not how they've made their bones this season. They've been a team that's been very methodical, and they had a running game, but this year, tonight, it just hasn't been there. In fact, they've been going to more one back, being the quarterback and spreading everybody out and thinking of the passing game and maybe run a quarterback draw. And now they must have listened to me and brought in a running back.
Here's Jake Thies. As requested, he's loose. He's got room. He gets across the 50. Will he be caught from behind? Into the 10, and he's gone. Wow. A 74-yard touchdown. Jake Thies, the immediate response for Fenwick as they retake the lead over East St. Louis.
Unbelievable. I just don't understand it. Here I'm thinking they don't have a running back, and now all of a sudden he pops one in the first play. Is the booth bugged here? Are they listening to what we're talking about or something?
It does feel like they have some kind of bug in the system listening to your every word, Jack.
Well, I don't know about that.
What a play by Jake Thies.
I really think that he had that kind of speed.
I've got breakaway speed written under 3 different runners for East St. Louis. I will add it to his as Noah Ser's extra point is through. Back out to a 7-point Fenwick Friars lead. Time now for the Menards Play of the Game. Save big money on all your home improvement needs with Menards. And you talked about Fenwick not having the big play guy.
Well, they got it now. And one of the reasons it's a big play is because they ran right at speed. They didn't try and run away from it. They ran right at it, which took away the angles. They're not going to get run down by that speed because they ran at it, and they didn't. And East St. Louis did not have good angles to get to them.
Fenwick now with 2 second-half touchdown drives of 1 play.
That's amazing. That's why the stats are askew.
Let's go downstairs to Kalia Butler. Kalia.
Fenwick playing with a certain level of confidence, but they've been getting through this win because they felt their last semifinal win was far too clean. Many emotional mistakes and moments where players tried to do a little too much. They know that that wouldn't fly today against East St. Louis. The message on the sideline today has been simple: keep it clean, stay composed, and do your job. They believe eliminating those mistakes is the only way to give themselves a chance today.
Certainly they have played a more mistake-free brand of football than East St. Louis, and it seems to have been the difference as this ball bounces out of bounds. So another penalty flag and another good start at the 35-yard line coming for East St. Louis.
Well, again, it'll be, can Fenwick stop him defensively?
Kick out of bounds. The kicking team. Right through the take the ball at 35.
This is just something that you do not want to do, is to give East St. Louis any kind of reasonable field position. I don't know if we had that stat yet. I'm sure we'll get it as far as the penalties, how many Fenwick has and how many East St. Louis has, because it'll be interesting to see what that particular challenge is. Okay, right there we're looking at, you can see the difference, 50 yards as opposed to 15.
Well, it is 50 yards as opposed to 15, literally. 7 yards for 50 penalties for one side, 2 for 15, and sliding through and staying on his feet all the way out to the 48-yard line, a pickup of 13 that time. Ahmad Coleman making his impact felt immediately on this next drive for East St. Louis.
And a lot of teams, they have to get to the outside to outrun people, to turn on, to use their speed. In East St. Louis's case, they can do both. They can get to the outside and use that speed, and yet if they pop past that line of scrimmage, it's even faster to the end zone because of the angles.
Shanklin gives it to Coleman again, this time to the left side. He gets dragged down by one leg, and a big-time stop that time by Odin Furjak to hold him at bay until help came. But another big pickup out to the 45-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain.
Based on what's going on here, this game is going to come right down, much like what we had in our first game. It's going to come down to the last minute or two as who is going to be the state champion.
This might be the final play of the third quarter as the clock winds towards 10 seconds. Another give and another up-the-middle run by Ahmad Coleman, and another first down. They'll mark it down at the 34-yard line.
He is really quick. Really quick.
It's an 11-yard pickup. First and 10, they'll say at the 35-yard line. And that will do it for the third quarter. Time winds down, and we'll pick up the fourth quarter with East St. Louis on the move. 28-21. Fenwick trying to hold on for a 6A state crown.
The Trade up to a brighter future. Trade up to a job you enjoy. Trade up to trade school. At Midwest Technical Institute, you get the skills you need to start a healthcare career that moves you up in life, towards your goals, your passions, and your dreams. Choose from healthcare programs including medical and dental assisting, medical coding, phlebotomy, and more. Earn the experience, knowledge, and confidence to change your life. Trade school is just the beginning. Start your journey today at midwesttech.edu.
WCIA has been following this story since 2024 when Sonia Massey was shot and killed by a former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy. The Peoria County Courthouse, we had a presence there all 8 days. There was a impact all across the country. I mean, you had national news outlets covering this. When we say community impact, it really wasn't just in Springfield, just in Champaign, just in our viewing area. It was everywhere. When I was there, I interviewed supporters who stood all 8 days outside of the Peoria County Courthouse.
A personal moment. The moment I shared with Sonia Massey's father, James Wilburn, when I asked him, you know, what he thought Sonia would say if she was still alive today, and I'll never forget his answer.
I love you, Daddy, because that's the way we ended every conversation, be it in person or on the phone, was I love you, Daddy.
I think that really brought a human aspect out of the story to show this wasn't just a person. This was someone's daughter, someone's mother. We really wanted to get to the family, to the friends, to the Springfield community that knew Sonia really well. The story is not over. We have sentencing coming up at the end of January in Sangamon County, where we will learn how long Sean Grayson will be in jail. The Massey family wants to see more done. They want to change the law. Her cousin even said,
I will dedicate my life dismantling the systems that created this problem.
This is a story we're going to be following for months, for years to come, as the Massey family makes sure their voices are not silenced and that their ideas are heard.
We're back with the defensive play of the game, brought to you by Union Carpenters and Contractors, partners in building communities and supporting working families. An errant throw by Bree Shanklin, and Odin Furjak says, give me that. I'll do something with it.
Well, he stopped the score because East St. Louis was on a drive right there to put it into the end zone. So it was a combination of a little bit of an overthrow, but good pressure by the defensive front, and then good double coverage by the secondary of Fenwick.
If the ball finds you as a defensive back, just hold on.
Well, make the catch. It's a more difficult catch running at the ball than it is running away from the ball. It's a whole different kind of dynamic.
Going up against the grain, if you will, and that's something that Fenwick has done all day as they find themselves up by 7 on East St. Louis. They had the lead early in the second half, and now almost tripped up, bouncing to the outside, can't find run to room, now losing even more yardage, and let's see where they mark the forward progress. Back at the 40, it's a loss of 6.
Still on the carry.
Several Fenwick Friars getting arms on Amir Tillman.
It's a great job of bouncing it further outside and the pursuit coming in to help.
We see there as Mike Murphy was one of the guys in on the tackle, along with Liam Cahill. And Cahill able to help bring him down and throw them for a loss. And we've seen these behind the chain situations not go well for East St. Louis on a number of occasions in this game.
Well, that's very true. There's a couple times that Fenwick did not take advantage of having him in these positions. I think we're going to get a timeout for East St. Louis right now.
And the Flyers now down to their last timeout here in the second half.
This is another dynamic that we could be looking at when there's only a couple minutes left in the ball game. Those timeouts are very crucial near the end of a ball game, especially when you're in a tight ball game like this is going to be.
In this game, coming into the fourth quarter through 3 quarters of play, Fenwick had run 25 plays. East St. Louis had run 62 plays, yet still found themselves down by a touchdown.
That's amazing. It's an amazing statistic.
Also, first downs 22-8 in favor of East St. Louis. And you go back to how this game started, and that might be one of those moments that haunts East St. Louis because of the fact that they went 3 and out and then didn't get a punt off. Set up Fenwick with the 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. They score immediately. In fact, they've had 2 drives in which they were one-play drives. That's one of them. The wind is doing things here at Illinois State. 2nd and 16 from the 40 now. Johnson Cook in the backfield. He'll be a receiver on this play. Reese Shanklin staying alive. Throws it down the field. Connects with his receiver. Not quite a first down, but Ahmad Sharp gets the bulk of it, and it'll be 3rd and very short.
Good job by Reese Shanklin keeping the play alive. He's looking, he bounces outside. Now that's crucial because there was good pressure on the inside, but he's a good enough athlete to just take 2 steps, get right outside the pocket and deliver the football on the money for a big first down again for East St. Louis. They seem to always find a way. Now it's just 3rd and short, not a first down, but 3rd and short.
Johnson Cook is back there, and Johnson Cook is going forward. Stood up, though, at the 25-yard line. He didn't get the first down. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Good job by the front. Fenwick's defensive front. Mbeway and Leone did a nice job, and Cahill and Monahan and Murphy, the linebackers, coming up to fill. Fenwick's really played good team defense today.
It has taken a village, and a village has showed up and responded. And now on 4th and 1. Shanklin waiting for the signal from the sideline. Johnson Cook in the backfield with him. Almost lost it. Gets it out to Sharp. Rolls forward, gets the first down, and Moore still on his feet all the way to the 15-yard line before finally being taken down by Fran Madden. It's a pickup of 10.
I think on the initial hit, if they brought him down, it wouldn't have been a first down. Right here on the initial hit, that could have been a stop on the 4th down, but he just did a nice job of spinning out and picking up a real big first down for East St. Louis.
So Sharp lowers his shoulder, does a spin move, gets 10 yards on the play, and now they're down to the 15-yard line. Just over 10 minutes left in regulation.
Having some issues here formation-wise.
Play clock down to 5. They'll give it to Johnson Cook. He'll twist his way inside and be taken down eventually. Tommy Thies making the tackle, but not before a pickup of 3. We are doing more weather stuff. Temperature now down to 16, the feels like anyway. That's what matters, trust me. And the wind has picked up a little bit, up to 7 to 13 miles per hour.
Give these players a lot of credit because they're playing as if it's just a normal fall day.
And here on the inside and dragged down by Leone is Ahmad Coleman. And I'll make it 3rd and 4.
Now, a crucial aspect of this is it's 4-down territory, obviously, for East St. Louis. And they're not going to settle anywhere because they don't have a kicking game to speak of as far as field goal or anything. So it's 4-down territory, no doubt about it.
Here's Coleman. He'll get the handoff, and he'll get all the way to the end zone. Slides outside. No one can catch him, and Ahmad Coleman has brought the Flyers within 1 extra point pending. This fourth quarter touchdown brought to you by SIU Carbondale. Say yes to SIU.
Well, let's see what personnel they're bringing in here. Oh, they're going to kick it.
We talked about the wind picking up. It's going to be Damon Pruitt on. Came into this game 60 of 77 on extra points.
He hasn't had a good night tonight, but season-wise, he's had a pretty good year.
Now here comes the all-important extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. Tie game.
What a time to make it.
East St. Louis, Fenwick, 28 apiece. Just over 9 minutes left in the 6A state championship game.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know, from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is the spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
Save big on everything for your next project with Menards. Mastercraft has been making high-quality doors for more than 50 years. Choose from our huge in-stock selection or design your door your way with our free step-by-step design program. Get your door in 7 days or less. With so many styles and finish options, give your home the perfect makeover this holiday season. Get this ready-to-paint 6-panel door for only $89.99 now at Menards.
More season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Day 2 of the IHSA State Championships has not disappointed. A couple of great games, including St. Francis over Providence Catholic in the 5A state final game. That came down to the final minute. This one might as well. They're tied at 28 with 9:13 to play. East St. Louis and Fenwick. And then tomorrow, we move the party to DeKalb. Brother Rice against St. Rita. Old school Catholic League battle in the 7A state final. And then number 1 Mount Carmel tries to finish an undefeated season taking on Oswego in the 8A state final. Should be a great one.
Should be a great one. And of course, Mount Carmel, many people, and I've said this before when we've had a couple of games, and the word that I don't like is generational.
Okay.
Remember how they've talked about this is a Mount Carmel team that's generational as far as how good they really are. They've got 13 Division I players on that team, and they're young, and they really are a good football team.
Here's Pruitt on for the kickoff. 28 apiece here in Normal, Illinois. This one's a short one. Pulling in is Thies at the 32. Doesn't get far, though, maybe a couple of yards, but they'll have good field position out at the 34-yard line. Let me run something by you, Jack. East St. Louis, on its last 2 drives, 25 plays, 145 yards, and 11 minutes and 6 seconds off the clock. In between those 2 drives, there was a Fenwick drive. 1 play, 74 yards, 11 seconds off the clock. So East St. Louis has had the ball on offense 25 of the last 26 snaps.
Yeah, and look at the score. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. If we just had a game of statistics right now, it would be could have been a running clock if we based it on statistics.
Jake Thies, he's the man who scored on that 74-yard play. Looking for room on the inside. He'll twist his way for a positive gain, but only a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 36-yard line.
Fenwick is determined to make this run game go so that the passing game will go. And that's how they've been effective throughout the playoffs this year.
James Bryant on the stop there. Now they will reset under 9 minutes to play now. Getting their offensive personnel in order. Again, Jake Thies in the backfield. Low snap. Williams picks it up. Now pressure's coming. Trying to outrun it. Fumble. Ball comes loose and right there to cover it up. On time is Cameron Garrett. Could have been disastrous for Fenwick.
No doubt about it.
But that brings up also a 3rd and long situation. 3rd and 8.
And again, it's so tough for a right-handed quarterback trying to scramble to his left to make something happen. And that's the only option he had, was to go to the left, because the wide side of the field was somewhat congested with the receivers of Fenwick and the overflow of defensive backs of East St. Louis.
Omari Hogan with a great play to run him down and force the fumble. And now Jamin Williams looking at 3rd and 8. 3-man front. He's going up. He's got a man wide open. He catches it. And then jogs out of bounds nonchalantly. Jimmy Watts.
I think a
wide open. I think he cramped up.
And that's why he went out of bounds. He couldn't finish the run.
So the cramps, they attack again. But what a play. It's a 38-yard play. As that could have been a touchdown, but Jimmy Watts cramps up as he catches it.
Boy, the coverage got goofed up on the formations, and Fenwick took advantage of it. Give Jamin Williams a lot of credit to be able to spot him with the pressure he was under by not only the defensive linemen from East St. Louis, but the linebackers. You can see he stands right in there, even though he was getting pressure in his face. He's wide open, and all he just cramps up as he's looking to go in the end zone. Ooh.
So, what a play by Jimmy Watts. 6'2", 175-pound junior. That's his 14th reception on the year. And that was a big one, maybe the biggest one he's had all season.
Really has, and it's always interesting to sit next to the assistant coaches in the other booths, listening to some of the comments that they make. You know, oftentimes they're somewhat loud comments that we really would not want to have on the air.
We don't have to wonder who's next to us, which team it is, because that about halfway through the game, you get an indication, depending on the outcome of a specific play.
Exactly.
1st and 10 now for Williams. Jake Thies in the backfield. Pressure coming. Gets it off to Thies. He's dragged down quickly. Nice tackle that time by Phillip White.
Now, Fenwick just needs to show poise here. Be patient. Pick up proper yardage. Don't give up a play and not get anything out of it. Whether it be an incomplete pass or a negative run, they've got to make each play get some yardage.
2nd and 8 from the 24-yard line. Williams on the day, 7 of 13, 153 yards. Now going forward with it is Williams. They'll take it all the way down to the 16-yard line.
First down.
8-yard pickup, and yes, they will move the chains.
Big play right there. Doesn't have to be a 60-yard play to be a big play. It can be a 6-yard play and be a big play, and that's what that was. Just a little quarterback draw right there. Nice job by Williams. Only a late, cheap hit right there that should have been a flag. Surprised officials didn't catch that.
Omari Hogan makes the stop. Very active on this drive. Already forced a fumble, although East St. Louis could not recover it. Now they say the chains were not moved. It's going to be a 3rd and less than 1 at the 17. Again, Thies in the backfield, but it's Williams who will keep it. Looking for room to run. He will plunge forward ahead across the 15-yard line, and it will be a 1st down. pickup of 3 on the play.
Good job right there. Making those chains move along there. Good job by that offensive line of Logan Schultz, Adam Calandron, Connor Wall, Cam Rutlin, and Vincent Figliglio. Nice job by those front 5.
Chain's not the only thing moving. That clock continues to wind down. Under 5.5 minutes to go. Really needing a touchdown here. Fenwick. And a timeout's going to be taken. Flag is thrown.
Oh, this is a killer.
False start on the center, Connor Wall.
Oh, mama. Those are flags that are just drive killers.
I believe that's only the 3rd penalty against Fenwick in the game.
But it's a big one right now.
So now it's going to be a first down. Here's Williams again on the draw. Nothing to color in there besides white and orange all over. Big stop by Cornell McIntosh, who's headed to Northern Illinois University. The senior.
Again, can Fenwick show poise here and make some plays? Doesn't have to be a touchdown this play. All it has to be is a 4 or 5 yarder. They need to keep the chains moving because they can still pick up a first down.
2nd and 14.
Don't get too greedy here.
Williams, the give to Thies. No, it's a fake. Now over to Garrett. He's brought down. That's going to be a loss of a yard, I believe. And that's going to bring a 3rd and very long. 3rd and 15 from the 18 is the official spot.
Well, this just took too much time and allowed them to come up, plus thrown it into the short side of the field. And East St. Louis took advantage of that defensively.
Amari Hogan, Tyrell Johnson in on that tackle.
Now again, Fenwick going empty with the formation, which spreads them out, but East St. Louis is keeping a middle linebacker there as kind of a spy on Williams. So if he scrambles or try to run, he can be the filler.
We'll see if they adjust accordingly.
You can see that middle linebacker coming up right there talking to that defensive tackle.
And Matt Battaglia takes a timeout with 3:31 to play. Big 3rd and 15 coming up for Fenwick. They're tied with East St. Louis here in the 6A state championship game.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned.
Saying no doesn't make you boring. It makes you smarter. Make your own choices. Generation Lead, empowering athletes, inspiring leaders. For more information, visit generationlead.org.
The IHSA Football State Finals are presented to you in part by Country Financial. Worry less and feel more confident with insurance designed to meet your specific needs. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more today.
Back here in Normal, Illinois, on the campus of Illinois State University, all square at 28 in the IHSA 6A state championship game between East St. Louis and Fenwick. The Fenwick Friars facing a big 3rd and 15. Jamin Williams, empty backfield. They're at the 18-yard line. With only 3:31 to play, trying to get points on the board. They've got a kicking game in their back pocket in the form of Noah Sir. He's 8 of 11 on the season from field goal distance, including the long of 41 yards. He's a Northwestern commit. Here's Williams looking for somewhere to go and probably wanted more than that on third down.
He might have been setting up the field goal with that run. He kept it inside the hash marks, Marshall, and so I'm thinking that's why he did that. He didn't try to pop it outside, which would have been a tougher angle, especially with this wind. It's easier for a kicker when he's kicking, when it's a tough wind like this, where he's able to kick straight rather than at an angle from the hash marks.
So now Fenwick 4 of 8 on third down. They're not going for it here. Instead, they're trying to get a 31-yard field goal from Noah Sir. Snap is good. Hold is good. The kick is up. And the kick is true. Would have been good from probably twice that distance. It's a 31-yard kick. Okay, maybe not twice that distance, but 31-yard kick. And that.
We got a penalty here.
It is a penalty.
Now, are you going to take points off the board, or is it going to be a first down penalty? I don't think so, unless it's a
roughing
call, and it could be a 15-yarder, and they'd end up would be half the distance. They'd be down about the 1-yard line. This will be an interesting call here.
And they're discussing it, are the officials.
This could be some sort of a unsportsmanlike call.
Let's take another look at what happened here.
That's illegal. See, they can't do that. That's illegal right there.
Coming over the top was James Bryant.
Now, that's their track background, see, running over the hurdles, but it's illegal in football. And it's a safety precaution, actually, for the offensive linemen. They stopped doing that probably about 15 years ago. They put that in as a penalty.
Waiting for an explanation.
Coach Huckett's right out on the field. He's on the hash mark right there.
So the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff after a 10-play, 52-yard drive that ends with a 31-yard field goal.
Kind of interesting that Fenwick's drives are all relatively short drives, and East St. Louis drives are much longer. Of course, they have the firepower to be able to sustain those longer, explosive drives. Good shot there, a 3-star recruit going to Northwestern. His stats, as you mentioned, are amazing. 58 of 60 extra points, 8 of 11 field goals, and his long being 43 yards. So he didn't need to use his long here. His average has been in punting is 40 yards, with his long being 58 yards. So I guess he's a scholarship type of kicker.
Was 58 yards in this game. If you remember his first punt,
That's
61
right.
yards, set a new season best.
I can never top you. You always.
Oh, no.
Well, I didn't mean to do that. You topped me with 61 yards, and I was giving you 50. 58. Almost had too many men on the field again.
So Noah Sir now getting ready to kick off. He'll kick off from the 45-yard line of East St. Louis. So this one should be through the end zone with no problems, based on what we saw earlier in this game. 2:45 left on the clock.
Well, I wouldn't want them to set up a return, so coach had sure told him kick it through the end zone.
And now they're going to kick what looks like an attempt at an onside kick. And now they've got better field position than they would have had.
Surprising me.
As they've gone through, and I would say the wind was a factor, but it looks like the wind is actually blowing with the kicker.
That's what I think. That's why I thought it would just been a little chip shot for him to put it in the end zone. The last 2 kicks he had went out of bounds prior to it, but he was kicking into the wind.
So that one is recovered up front. And now, with 2:45 to play, which is probably an eternity, or seems like it at least, for East St. Louis, they just need a touchdown to probably win this game unless they score too quickly.
My thing is, I think 2:45 is an eternity for Fenwick with East St. Louis having the ball. knowing how explosive they are, how many times they turn 4th and 12 or 4th and 15 into first downs. So you can never, ever be sure that you've got them down because they just are such a good football team. And now we got a penalty here. Too much time, I think. Yep. Play a game.
That is a tough way to start a drive, a delay of game on your first offensive play. So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 27 now. Myson Johnson-Cook in the backfield. Off the play action. They'll go down.
Oh, took it off.
Thies trying to find his way back across the field. He will. Will he be hawked down from behind? Still on his feet.
Oh, are you
taken
kidding?
down at the 4-yard line. A 41-yard return and maybe the play of the night for Jake Thies. He's done it on offense. Now he has done it on defense. Thies, his team-leading 5th interception, and it could not have come at a better time.
This is absolutely stunning. Stunning at what's going on here. I mean, they did a crossing route right here, and he just came underneath and picked it off. Fenwick defensively is just playing amazing football and very smart football. That's just a great play right there. And East St. Louis is basically beside themselves as far as what has transpired thus far.
What a play for Jake Thies.
This really, we talked about earlier, Cary Grove and the big upset that they had against East St. Louis. This is, to me, even a bigger upset.
And now Jake's brother Tommy will line up in the backfield alongside Jamin Williams on 1st and goal from the 3. Williams looking to get in. Gets stood up. Still on his feet, though. Forward, and it's a touchdown. A group effort. Much like what we've seen all day on defense, but this time on offense to get Jamin Williams across the goal line. This 4th quarter touchdown brought to you by SIU. Carbondale, say yes to SIU. That is the 3rd one-play touchdown drive by Fenwick in this game.
Well, Fenwick just takes advantage of opportunities. No doubt about it. What I call a very efficient offense.
They are up by 2 scores, are the Friars, with 2:22 to go. Sir on for the extra point, and a flag comes out. Let's see what the call is.
I think it might have been an offside on the edges of East St. Louis. No, they're not going to.
So Fenwick, the kids are celebrating. They're getting it on their TikToks, Instagram Live.
What is all that stuff?
It's the new world. Jack, catch up. Catch up.
I'm still trying to learn how to type.
I think you've got the typing part down. I've gotten emails from you.
You don't know how long it took me to write those, though.
Extra point by Noah Sir is good.
You got it on Monday, and I sent it on. I typed it on Sunday.
That's more about your internet speed than anything else. Fenwick has a 10-point lead, and where would this one rank when we're talking about upsets in state title games with an East St. Louis team that, again, they haven't lost to an Illinois team since that Cary Grove win in the championship game a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing. And, you know, it's just amazing to watch. And being a Fenwick alumni, you know, I'm stunned, to be honest with you, that they're playing the way they are and taking advantage of all these situations. Here it's an underthrown pass, and he picks it off and takes it almost all the way into the end zone. And it's just amazing how they've taken advantage of all the miscues that East St. Louis has had. And here's Williams getting in behind that big offensive line of Fenwick that averages 260 pounds and just forcing that into the end zone. And they've just brought East St. Louis to their knees as far as taking advantage of plays. Statistically, it's going to be mind-boggling at the end how little Fenwick has, but how much they have on the scoreboard.
And there is the kick through the end zone by Noah Sir. So 1st and 10 from their own 20. They've got 10 points they need to make up. East St. Louis. We know the kicking game hasn't really been there for them all season long. So they're looking at best at maybe a quick touchdown, an onside kick attempt. Remember also the Flyers, they used 2 of their 3 timeouts earlier in the second half, so they're down to their last timeout as well.
Yeah, they had issues with personnel, and there were 2 timeouts based on personnel. And I can tell you right now, I mean, all you got to do is watch them on the sideline, and are they capable of coming back with 2 scores? They are capable of coming back with 2 scores, but mentally right now, I don't think they're prepared to do it.
Let's see what Reese Shanklin does. Back to pass, gets it out to his big running back, Myson Johnson Cook. Takes a few hits, gets stood up at about the 28-yard line.
Keeps the clock going.
That'll keep the clock going. It's an 8-yard pickup, so 2nd and 2 forthcoming as the clock's going to go under 2 minutes to play.
That was a smart play by the Fenwick defenders to keep him in bounds. I think he was trying to get out of bounds, but smart play down to 1:50 right now.
Shanklin, as the time continues to roll off the clock, looking for a quick hitter. Gets his man to the outside, but quickly out of bounds is Ronnie Go-Miller. As coming across was Odin Furjak to get him out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock with 1:38 to play.
Well, in the open, you know, we discussed East St. Louis, and we discussed how they couldn't get anybody to play in the state of Illinois, and they had to go out of state. And then we also said about competition against better teams. East St. Louis had to go out state to get 3 games and 3 competitive games because they didn't really have any in the regular season. Fenwick, on the other hand, has competitive games almost every week in the Chicago Catholic League.
Here's Ronnie Go-Miller. Gets the first down out to the 44-yard line. Excuse me, short of the first down. It'll be 2nd down and 1. 1:19 and counting, and just running out of time now is East St. Louis. They're going to have to do something down the field. Shanklin taking his time. It's a handoff this time, and stopped in the backfield, stood up and sat down. Mike Murphy was there to start things, and then Aiden Williams comes in to finish it off on a negative play, or no gain at best.
I think East St. Louis has waved the white flag at this point. They're more or less in shock, to be honest with you.
Myson Johnson Cook going nowhere on that play. Now 3rd and 1, 30 seconds remaining. Another handoff to Myson Johnson Cook. He's across the 45 and down to the 43, and that might be the last play of the game. Clock continues to run. Fenwick with 38 points against East St. Louis. The clock continues to run. Under 20 seconds. Will they run another play? East St. Louis.
East St. Louis has only been giving up 11 points a game in their first 13 games before running up against Fenwick tonight.
Now Shanklin on the move. Tripped up from behind and dropped. Mbewe, and the clock goes final. East St. Louis upset, shocked. The Fenwick Friars have posted the most points against East St. Louis of any team outside of IMG Academy, who also scored 38 on the Flyers. And the Fenwick Friars have the 2nd state championship in football in school history.
What an amazing football game. This has been really exciting to watch the big plays and then just shorter plays that have made a difference in the ball game. Good shot at Coach Battaglia right there. Great job of coaching by he and his entire staff. And, of course, Fenwick Friars played really well no doubt about it. And East St. Louis is an outstanding football team. And this was just another unfortunate upset in the state finals.
Congratulations to the Fenwick Friars. Interviews and a trophy presentation on the other side.
The IHSA Football State Finals are brought to you in part by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs. And by SIU Carbondale. Say yes to SIU.
Save big on automotive supplies at Menards. Good maintenance equals longer vehicle life. And Menards carries automotive products that help keep your vehicle on the road. Prevent diesel fuel from gelling in colder climates with Howe's Diesel Treat. On sale for only $11.99. FVP Premium Starting Fluid helps provide fast starts on the coldest days and is engineered to work with all gasoline and diesel engines. Get an 11-ounce bottle for just $2.69.
Imagine going from the classroom to the big stage.
This territory, this place, our home, isn't just for learning, but for understanding the very power of what imagination actually means.
A place where you can know, from player to coach, from the ground to the sky.
So close your eyes, envision the roar that is a spirit of thousands of Salukis. Capture this moment and go forward together.
Attention high school students. If you're tired of hearing the same old college debt story, we've got an exciting alternative for you. Join the Mid-America Carpenters Union and let your career dreams take flight. You can earn great pay, enjoy no-cost health insurance, and secure a stable retirement, all with no college debt and an elite career that's here to stay. It's time to build your future your way. Ready to carve your path to success? Contact the Mid-America Carpenters Union today to learn how you can unleash your potential.
The IHSA, committed to keeping student-athletes safe. Through educational initiatives and national partnerships, we're going the distance to develop safer protocols for our teams. Plus, we continue to improve scheduling and conditioning to reduce injuries from preseason through each state championship. 31 sports, 350,000 student-athletes, and one goal, player safety. The IHSA, the future plays here.
What a game. The IHSA Class 6A championship has been decided. Fenwick wearing the crown after a 38-28 win over East St. Louis. The final score brought to you by Delta Dental of Illinois. Let's go downstairs to Kalia Butler, who's got some very happy Friars.
I'm joined now with Coach and Jake, both of you. How significant is this win to put up some of the most points that's ever been scored on East St. Louis their whole season and get your second state title? Jake, we'll start with you.
I mean, it means everything. We've been working for this moment since last winter. Everyone came, put in work, and it's just everything came together tonight, and it showed.
It's tough to even process right now. Like, the biggest thing was just keeping this team together as a special team, and I'm just really, really excited that we get to end it with a celebration. And I don't know how I'm going to do it myself, because this was a great group of seniors. Jake's a junior here. I got him another year. But just an unbelievable, like everyone says, best team. This is by far the best team when you incorporate everything that makes the team. This is the best team in the state of Illinois.
You guys, going into this, said that you wanted to play like you had nothing to lose, and you clearly had everything to win today. How did that sort of level of doubt kind of power through here for the win today?
Yeah, we knew everyone picked them to win, but I mean, it's nothing new for us. I mean, it's happened to us multiple times this year. We knew they're human just like us. We knew we could take them, and we just got it done.
Phenomenal team, great team. That running back number 6, I'm going to say I got to coach against him one day because he's going to be playing football a long time. But I think this kid right here showed he deserves just as much hype, Jake Deese.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Go Friars!
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Kalia. The player of the game brought to you by Country Financial. Visit countryfinancial.com to experience more today. What can you say about Jake Thies? You heard his coach, Matt Battaglia, talking about him in this game. Thies, 61 yards receiving, 9 carries for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, he also had 18 tackles, 8 solo tackles, and the game-sealing interception.
Quite an athlete. To think that he's only a junior. I'd be thrilled to have him coming back also. His brother's a senior, but both of these brothers have done a great job. Their father, who's the athletic director at Fenwick, has to be a proud daddy right now.
That is the player of the game brought to you by Country Financial. Just some stats because they're going to blow your mind, even though you're already mentally prepared for them, Jack. Total yards in this game, East St. Louis, 512 to Fenwick's 292. First downs, East St. Louis, 26 to Fenwick's 10. Plays, 76 from East St. Louis compared to just 35 for Fenwick. And then time of possession, 30 minutes, 33 seconds for East St. Louis. Just 17 minutes, 27 seconds for the Friars.
Amazing statistics, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
And now, celebrating as waiting for the trophy presentation.
Well, we're getting ready for that. You know, we ought to really have a shout out to, again, Illinois State University for hosting us on a Tuesday night after that suspension on Saturday, and for the IHSA to get this in. I mean, what an exciting afternoon we've had of football. 2 great football games, the opportunity for these kids and these programs to play for the state championship. But to have these places come together, Illinois State and the IHSA, to have this ready and be able to play here is just a tremendous tribute to both those entities.
As we see Fenwick getting ready to receive their first place trophy here in 6A. What a performance, and a shout out and a tip of the cap to the players for East St. Louis who've come up short as far as winning a state championship, but they do get back here for a 6th straight state championship appearance. And can't say enough about, speaking of juniors, Myson Johnson-Cook, who will be back next season, and he had 169 yards and 2 touchdowns for East St. Louis rushing, while Coleman ends up with 102 yards, and Ahmad Coleman is also a junior, so expect to see East St. Louis back again in the same manner.
Always expect to see East St. Louis back. They always have great athletes. They're extremely well coached. They're an outstanding football program. By program, I mean it's not a 1 or 2 season situation. They're down here all the time, and hats off to them. As Coach Battaglia said, it's a great program, outstanding football team. It just turned out that Fenwick had the breaks and took advantage of them today.
So Fenwick awaiting their presentation, as again, it's their first state title since 2021. It's Matt Battaglia celebrating his 2nd title. The last time they won the title, we saw and heard from Jake Thies, but Tommy Thies, he was an 8th grade ball boy.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
And he said going through that as a ball boy, he wanted to be in that same position as that 2021 team was, and now he is.
Well, the guy that started the Fenwick football program, a gentleman named Tony Lawless, who several awards are named after him in the Chicago Catholic League, would be very proud of this program now. It's always been an outstanding program, but today they were just outstanding.
So Fenwick, as you can see, they brought some people with them from Oak Park down here to participate, to root them on, and now to celebrate a title. And so the Friars get their trophy. Long awaited for, and to understand just how much they've overcome. The stage was set last week when they knocked off the #1 seed Nazareth Academy in overtime, 28-27. And they followed that up with quite the encore performance this week against an East St. Louis team that has been nationally ranked in recent years and certainly hadn't lost to an Illinois team since Cary Grove knocked them off in the state championship game a couple of years ago.
And again, just big upsets. People that saw those 2 games initially thought there's the possibility East St. Louis is so good that we could have a running clock, and it just didn't turn out that way.
And now we've got 5A and 6A in the books. Up next, 7A, 8A. Should be more great football from DeKalb tomorrow night. But we'd be pressed to see them match the intensity we saw in these two games in 5A and 6A as we crown another couple of champions.
No doubt about it. Absolutely. Great football.
So the Friars overcome the Flyers and get a 38-28 win. Fenwick celebrating a state title for just the second time in program history. Hope you've enjoyed the call along with Jack McInerney. I'm Marshall Harris. Aaliyah Butler down on the sidelines. We hope you've enjoyed the ride with us. 2 more state titles in the books. Tune in tomorrow to see who wins in 7A and 8A.
Trade up to a better future. Trade up to a